What is going on, everybody? Welcome back on into the show. The boys are back in town. I see y'all going crazy in the chat. The boys are back. RB here, Stephen Conrad Jr., the ghost of Run It Back, a.k.a. DJ. Hashtag free DJ in the chat, man. Hashtag free DJ in the chat.
I'm locked up. They won't let me out.
We got a free DJ, man. But Romp will be joining us soon. Sixers Takeover, best show on the tube. We're back in the building. We're going to be talking Sixers today. You saw the title already, man. Is it officially time to panic about the Philadelphia 76ers? We will get into all that. The game yesterday, the upcoming stretch. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see. We got Philly Shadden here, Eshawn, Aaron, Master Gaming, Joel, Troel, Embiid, Random Gamer, Nick, Dan the Man, Oscar. What's going on, man? Romp will be here soon. They're throwing the hashtag free DJs in the chat. But yo, hope you guys are doing well, man. Steven and DJ, what's going on, guys?
Dude said free romp. What's up, man? Happy to be here.
There he is.
My own stuff, but in the meantime, if you're looking for me, twitch.tv/runitbackphilly. If you're looking for me.
Oh, we're live. Oh shoot! I didn't know we were live. I thought we were just backstage chilling.
Just went live.
Oh my god, my bad. All right, how you doing?
Look like you just woke up from a nap, my guy.
No, I just got home. I wish I was taking a nap, but was not.
How you doing, man? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. You know, it's early in the season, so I'm trying not to overreact. But I will say I'm done with Tobias Harris. I'm not gonna lie.
We didn't even get into the show, man. I was just asking how you were doing in general.
Oh, that's my bad.
Yo, he said that probably at Thanksgiving dinner. Rob, how you doing? I'm done with Tobias Harris. Pass the mashed potatoes. I'm done with Tobias Harris.
That is true.
Yo. Oh man, Steven, what's up, man?
Glad to be back, guys. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like when you guys had sent out the text this morning that we were gonna do this live stream, that was the first thing that was on my mind. I was like, what can I offer? What can I possibly say that these guys aren't going to say? And I was like, honestly, the only thing that I care about is the fact that Tobias is still on this team. Like, we'll get into it, obviously. But, man, like, I've done I don't even know if I want to say a complete 180 on the guy. But, like, I just can't take it anymore, dude. Like, and you see all these players on other teams that don't even get paid anything close to what this guy's getting paid. And they're so much better. You know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating.
Interesting.
It's like ruining it for me because like Maxey, like first of all, Tyrese Maxey, like God bless this man's soul. Like, wow, what an awesome basketball player we have. Finally, a guard that can just like do basketball things. You know what I mean? Like, wow, that's an awesome thing to have. Never thought I'd see it.
Yeah,
Tobias is just not. He's never going to be as good as we paid him for. It's kind of like. You hate watching him with the ball in his hands when he's shanking wide open layups and stuff, but it's kind of like, he's just not that good. You know, like, I kind of got to train myself to think he's more of a guy that hit the lottery than like a guy that got paid for how good he is at basketball.
Rick Bennett with the $5 donation. Thank you, Rick. Says welcome back. Oh, good to be back with these guys talking the Sixers, man. We're gonna get into a lot, definitely a lot of different players, areas. I mean, everybody's already throwing shade at Tobias. Look, here's what I gotta say, man. It's gonna be an interesting stretch coming up. We got a couple tough games. Obviously, we've been struggling against bad teams. I was there yesterday, as you guys know, and it was not good. The boos were raining down midway third quarter. Thought we were going to lose to Ignas Brazdeikis and the Magic. But we pulled it out. We pulled it out. Yeah, Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner, man, Terrence Ross. It was nuts. What an experience, though. But anyway, this team, we're just going to go around. We're going to start off. Let us know in the chat. We got 100 in here, man. Drop the like, subscribe if you're new. All the channels down below. We're just going to go around. Whoever wants to take it, go ahead. Is it time to panic about the Sixers where we are at this season? 11-10, dropping in the conference. Obviously, we had the outbreak and all. We're back, I'd say, mostly healthy now. but we're struggling in terms of like our identity, our chemistry a little bit, just kind of finding our groove. So whoever wants to take it, man, start us off. Is it time to panic about the Sixers?
No, not time to panic. They came back from COVID and they look like garbage. But what we looked like in the beginning of the season, I think we can easily get back to that. And it's just going to take. First of all, I feel like without Embiid, there was an out of order tier system in the Sixers roster. Certain guys had to step up, and now certain guys have to realize, hey, it's not my show anymore. You know what I mean? And like Tyrese Maxey's just in the middle of still learning when to be aggressive and when to try to force Joel Embiid the ball. There's a lot of things, but I think they can get back to what they were in the beginning of the season, no problem. The COVID thing really just screwed everything up. That's where I'm at with it, and they need to run some suicides. They just look so slow and sluggish, and like I'm like that yesterday. I don't remember the exact stat, but they had more They gave up more points off of drives in the last 2 games than any team in the NBA. So guys are just cutting back door wide open, like nobody's there.
I would say no and yes. I'm in the middle. Because the one thing I don't like about this team is I'm seeing like the same types of issues showing up more than once. Tobias Harris, dribbling too much, being a ball stopper, trying to take over when he doesn't have to. Joel Embiid, let's draw up a play for him to operate at the perimeter with 3 seconds to go. Great job, Doc Rivers, on that one. So, I feel like we got to utilize Embiid way better than we do, especially late game situations. Just get him in the post. I know I sound like a boomer, but I'm starting to agree with that take. I'm sick of Embiid operating like a point guard out there in critical situations. Just get him down low and just feed him the rock. The Warriors don't use Steph Curry on ball 24/7 because when he's running around, he creates so much chaos because it's like, oh, if he sets a screen, they're like, oh, do I help on him? Do I not? He's always running around. Embiid's biggest strength is he's bigger than everyone. And we don't utilize that enough. Just get him on the block and feed him the rock. And if he's not in good enough shape to do that, then not yet, I guess. Hopefully we see him more later in the season. But that's just my takeaway right now. I feel like I'm becoming a boomer. Because I remember hearing that, I was like, basketball's not played like that anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and to add on to that, I'm kind of in the middle as well, but I'm going to lean towards it's not time to panic. But I do agree with your point wholeheartedly about there's this same recurring issue. I put out a video a week ago. I said the Sixers have a Tobias Harris issue. It's not Tobias's fault per se. Like DJ said, you have to accept what the guy is. He's overpaid. We know that. We get it. However, Doc Rivers, we can't just treat him like he is the king of this offense because he is overpaid. I'm seeing Tyrese Maxey over a stretch just, he's feeling himself. He's going in his groove. Yeah. And then again, for example, last night, in crunch time, Tobias trying to take over the game and missing layups, and that can't happen. And Doc needs to put a stop to it. I'm getting tired of it. Tyrese Maxey, I'm just going to say it. He should be the second option of the offense. Tobias has to defer. He's a great 20-point per game guy. I say it all the time, but he is not the man. And another thing, Romp, about your point about Joel, look, don't call me a hater, all right? I'm actually going to put some of it on Joel because he came out before the season. He said, I'm going to shoot more threes. Why would you change up your game when you're supposed to be the most dominant guy in the league? You were last year alongside a dude that couldn't shoot. And part of it's on Doc as well. When a guy like that comes out and says that, why are you not up his saying, no, get your butt down in the post? Last night, I'm seeing him pass out. I mean, he's got I don't even know the dude's name. He's got a guy, I don't even know his name, in the post. I'm like, Joe, take him, back him down.
Mo Bamba?
Yeah.
He was getting
Yeah, and he's passing it out. And in crunch time, we're relying on Tobias Harris to go up with a left-handed layup. No, it should be Joel Embiid. And I'm getting a little bit worried here because before he went out and now when he's back, we're doing the same thing. He's deferring, and I don't like that. And he's taking a lot of shots. He's settling. I don't like it. We need to play how we did last year. Joel needs to take reign. Tobias needs to defer and feed Maxey. And one more thing, Curry was on fire last night. went away from him. He didn't get the ball in the second half. I don't know why.
Well, I agree with you, and well, both of you on your point with Embiid. I think Doc deserves some of this blame because I see a lot of people. This dates back to not the previous game, but the one against the Timberwolves that they lost in overtime. When you're drawing up a play to win the game, they sent Joel Embiid to like the corner from 3. He catches the ball. He's instantly double teamed. And I know everybody's pointing out that he missed, Seth Curry. He was wide open or whatever. Like, to me, Joel, like, look, dude, he's always been a solid 3-point shooter. If there's anything he's going to add, like, dude, just become a better passer. Like, just pay attention to what's going on around you. Does Joel deserve blame for not making the pass there? Yeah, he didn't even get a shot off. Absolutely. But at the same time, like, the coach, like, what kind of play call is that? Like, if there's anything I'll give Eastwood, don't cringe. If there's anything I'll give Brett Brown credit for, at least he could occasionally draw up a decent, like, inbounds play. Like, I don't know what that was. Sending Joel Embiid to the corner, like he's a center, doesn't make a lot of sense. And the offense, as you can see, like, look, Joel's the most talented big in the NBA. We know he can shoot. He's got a little off the dribble game, but like Romp said, you're not a boomer for wanting him to get into the post. Like you had mentioned how the Warriors try to get Curry off the ball. If Embiid literally just stands in the paint or like right on the block, he doesn't even need the ball in his hands. The defense is going to key in on him, and everybody else is open on the perimeter. We added all these shooters. Ben Simmons is gone. You got Niang, you got Curry, you got Korkmaz, you got all these capable 3-point shooters. Tobias, look, whatever his numbers indicate, he's a solid shooter. Isaiah Joe, Maxey is kind of stepping into that role, and he's willing to shoot. By the way, he's not going to hesitate. Like it's quite simple. Like literally, Joel just stand on the block. Does it come down to Doc telling him to do it, or Joel? Look, I don't care, Joel. You're the best damn big man in the NBA. You go out there and play your game. Go do that. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, I think when you said that the NBA is not played like that anymore, you feel like a boomer. The NBA just wasn't played like that because these centers didn't exist for like 10 years.
Yeah, they sucked. Why did people say that?
No,
Dwight Howard
seriously.
was the best big in the NBA. That guy can't do anything.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, like literally after the centers of the 90s, like literally 2000 and on, I mean, Shaquille O'Neal, after those guys, like there was a solid like 8 years, I feel like, where there was just no good centers at all. And it's like the game's not played like that anymore because these guys aren't good. Joel Embiid comes along and it's like, oh, look, this guy can do what they did back in the day. It's like a rare thing for someone that size to be able to play like him. So, yeah, I don't think you're a boomer for wanting Joel Embiid to be on the block, especially against Mo Bamba, who's built like a freaking like a light stand that's in front of me. The guy's 7 feet tall, 97.5 pounds. Joel Embiid should be able to move him easily. And yeah, I just, and him, the Timberwolves game, I don't understand the play call either, the out of bounds play and him being triple teamed. And I don't understand any of that. But I also just think it's just something they're going to figure out as the season goes on. And, I don't want to keep saying it, but we just came back from guys just being thrown back into the rotation. And there's definitely going to be film study and practices. And also on the Tobias Harris thing with Doc Rivers, I think Doc thinks Tobias Harris is better than he is because Doc revived him after the whole, Doc came here and got him back to what he was. And maybe Doc really thinks he is that. And that's kind of a scary thought too, because if Doc believes that, then maybe he's not going to tell him to, defer or stop taking so many shots or whatever. I don't know what it is about Tobias Harris with like the chemistry with other players. It's almost like he just plays a one-on-one game. That's what I feel like when I watch him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is. He just catches the ball and it's Tobias Harris with the ball, and that's all that's going to happen in this play.
Yeah, I'm sick of this Tobias Harris being a great guy, like because he's a selfish basketball player. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, he's playing one-on-one ball. Like, if he was such a great guy, he would be like, oh, I got to pass the ball more. All of a sudden, he goes out of the lineup. Next game, we have 37 assists without Embiid and Tobias Harris. You remember that game? We passed the ball more than ever without our best two guys. So I feel like Joel Embiid included and Tobias Harris got to buy into the system more. And Doc Rivers, again, like RB was saying, like, you don't have to run the play for Joel Embiid. You could run it for someone else because I'm sure Minnesota was expecting that. You can run it for Tyrese Maxey. He's the fastest player on the court. Get him the ball off a screen, drive to the hoop. and then maybe he gets a game-winning bucket. Like, think outside the box. Just because they're the max guys, you don't have to draw up a play for them every single time.
Yeah, and even when we were winning early on, it was a lot of different guys contributing as well, especially off the bench too. It wasn't just like a solely Tobias offense or a sole, Joel Embiid offense. Like Curry was stepping up, Korkmaz, Niang, all these dudes. So we definitely need the production, and we need guys to step up. But let's hit a couple super chats here. Rob Dredden with the $5 super chat says, "Banish Ben Simmons to the Poconos. I hear it's -10 with a negative 25-degree-mile-per-hour wind chill. The weather is perfect." Shout out to Rob, man. Yeah. And just a message out there to add on to that. He's not coming back. We're going to talk about this in a few minutes because I want to get your guys' updated takes on it. But I'm on the side where I'm starting to realize like Sixers fans are just, we're like, I'm actually getting sick and tired of people underrating other players now. That's where I'm at. Like I threw a D'Angelo Russell take out there the other day, got killed for it. Oh, he's not efficient enough.
On Twitter?
On Twitter. And I'm saying, don't tell me you wouldn't trade for D'Lo. This dude's hitting big shot after big shot. And I just feel like we're missing that. But it's time to stop saying like, oh, guys are too, they're too inconsistent for us. They're not good enough. Well,
I owe everybody an apology on my D'Angelo. I was one of those people that thought he was kind of like inefficient and stuff like that. Obviously, now after what he did to us, oh my God, I would take him in a heartbeat. But yeah, like at this point.
I always said D'Angelo Russell is good when he's on the floor. Again, he's only played more than 61 games one time in his career. So it's the injury thing for me. I get that, Ben's not playing at all. I just think you can do better than somebody who's always injured. If you could stay healthy, the guy's great.
Yeah, I agree. All I'm saying is like, I'm realizing now, I already knew, but we all knew he's not coming back to the team. So sooner or later, we're going to need to do something, like this can't go past the trade deadline. But anyway, we'll definitely talk about that. Rick Bennett with the $2 super chat says, "Drop the Romp bombs." He's going to come with them heavy. Shout out to Romp. Carlos with the $5 super chat. "Salute, guys. I'm not worried. Just came off a long road trip. Guys, about a lineup. It's like we took a slight reset, more time together on the court. We'll be fine." I agree. We definitely were in a groove early on. Shout out to Carlos. And we got a $2 donation from Seth. He says, "Told y'all about Dorkmaz, opposite of the." Oh, I think that's a good segue. I think we should all just shut up. And I think we should let Romp just go ahead. We're going to call it Romp's Optimism Circle. We're just going to let him talk about Furkan Korkmaz for a couple minutes. Romp, take the floor, man. What is going on with Furkan?
He was playing very well in the beginning of the year because he had like not a big role, and they made him like a point guard off the bench. And there is one thing he does really, really good that I think people underrate as a Sixers fan base, and that's simply get a pick and roll. He gets in the middle of the lane, passes out to George Niang, open three. He's really good at finding people when he gets into the lane. I don't think he's specifically a shooter, though. I think his biggest strength is playmaking, because he had like 6 assists the other night. He'll have 5 assists. I think he's like 3rd on the team in assists. So I think he does that really well. His shooting is inconsistent, obviously, but like I don't get too hard on him, because like Furkan Korkmaz is not going to be the reason we win a championship or lose a championship. Like that's just my opinion on it. And also, if Korkmaz is missing shots, then Doc got to realize, get him out of the game. Also, defensively, he has improved, in my opinion. He's not that bad anymore, or he's improved. Come on, give him some credit on the defensive end of the floor. But I don't know, like if he's playing bad, then take him out. Like the Sixers have a roster where everyone can play. Bassey can play, Paul Reed, Isaiah Joe. So if someone's struggling, just take him out and let Isaiah Joe get some real minutes. So I feel like the Furkan issue when he's struggling isn't on him. It's on Doc Rivers. Get him out of the game.
It's a good take. Only thing that Korkmaz is pissing me off with is the fact that he keeps on shooting and he just keeps on missing shots and breaking up.
He's not going to stop, bro.
And I know he's not, which is why I agree with you that Doc has to get him out of the game or tell him like, Furk, you got to stop.
He's not going to stop shooting.
I think that's one of my biggest things with Doc Rivers is that he runs like a 10-man playoff rotation all season long. Like there was 3 DNPs last night, and it's like I just don't get why not throw. You saw Bassey have a 12-point game a couple nights ago. I've been a fan of that guy since we drafted him. And you can't just put him on the floor for like 3 minutes in a certain situation. Like, I don't, but whatever. Continue.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, to his defense, actually, the entire bench has kind of slipped off, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the lack of like Andre Drummond was playing bad for a few games. Joel was out. Maybe it was because of that, but I feel like everybody on the bench kind of slipped exponentially, and that was really that was the magic of our team because Joel wasn't really in his groove yet. So it was like how deep of a team we were early in the season. Honestly, the only guy I'm seeing improvement from on the bench is Matisse Thybulle. And I want to hear what Romp has to say about Matisse because I don't know about you guys. No, honestly, in my opinion, Matisse is at least learning how to become a smarter player. And he's learning how to fit in. So I've been happy, and at least he's working on his shot. But what do you guys think about that?
I think his shot has improved. I like it a little better. I still think he gambles too much on defense, but he's so good. Like, I guess he should be gambling, but at the same time, it's like, dude, just stay on your feet. Stop getting fouls. But offensively, he's just so not good in the half court. And it's just like another Ben Simmons situation where teams can just kind of put their least defensive player on him, like D'Angelo Russell, and he doesn't have to play defense because Thybulle, when he gets to rock, he's not looking at the rim. He's looking to pass, or I don't even know what he's thinking in his head. And also, last against the Timberwolves, he was smiling again, talking to D'Angelo Russell. He was smiling in a tie ball game, smiling.
He's a nice dude.
I don't care. Quit smiling, bro.
At least he's making some shots. At least he's freaking some shots.
Fiddling with D'Angelo Russell when it's a tie ball game. Like, come on, man.
I just think
he doesn't have a killer instinct.
I think Matisse doesn't have like basketball fundamentals, and I think we keep thinking he's going to develop that, but I think some of those type of things are just things you learn at a very young age, like how to take a ball and square up and take a jab step and take one dribble and get, use your body to get past the defender. Like, he has absolutely none of that at all.
Yeah, he has no feel.
Yeah, he can't play basketball. Like, but to be able to be on the court, not being able to do that, like, that's Danny Green. He can't play basketball. But you have to be a above average 3-point shooter to be able to be on the floor without any other actual offensive skills. So that's my thing with Matisse. He's not like a good enough 3-point shooter. Hopefully that improves, but I don't see him learning actually, because there's so many times where he has like a driving lane and he just kind of fades away and looks for a pass. And I'm like, dude, like, if he just knew how to take 2 dribbles, he could dunk on everybody in the NBA.
Yeah, because he's athletic. Like, when he had a steal, I think it might have been against the Timberwolves where he just exploded. I think he traveled, if we're being honest. He didn't take a dribble, but he dunked it. I was like, that's all you got to do. Just like one dribble, just explode. He's more athletic than most guys, especially because, like Romp said, they're putting their worst defender on him because they know, for one, he's hesitating to shoot from 3, and also he's not going to drive or beat anybody off the dribble,
That's the thing, though. That's like
I would love to be Matisse on offense, by the way. Like, they don't expect you to do anything. So, like, if the ball comes your way, just explode. Excuse my language. Just explode right by the guy.
He's better than Danny Green, though. I'll say that. Way better. Get that dude off the team, please.
But Danny Green, I think, knows for the most part I shouldn't like dribble or try to do anything. I should, if my shot's not open, I give it back to somebody else for the most part.
He's so slow, though. We're so slow.
Yeah.
We are a slow team.
We have a lot of problems right now. Seth with the $2 donation says, I actually like Dorky at the 1 3-pointer is broke right now. It is completely shattered right now. I hope he gets it back. Like I'm saying, our bench is they're struggling. Shake, Furkan, like everybody on the bench is really struggling. And Doc keeps bringing in the full bench lineups, which is tough. Rob Dredden with the $5 donation says, is it me or doesn't Glenn Rivers' face remind you of a glazed donut? Maybe he should change up his diet and it will eventually lead to better coaching. Well, that's definitely an interesting take. Like I said, my problem with Doc is like I feel like we do the same things over and over again. Like, there needs to be a spark on this team. There needs to be something shaken up. Like, I feel like we're doing the same thing. Like, honestly, you know what? He's got to take a Steve Kerr approach, all right? He's got to get up and break a clipboard. He's got to get fired up. And I'm not talking because last night I watched him very precisely. Okay? He was not up until the fourth quarter, until Joel Embiid got called for a miserable foul, and then they the other end, they didn't give him a foul. Then they called him for a foul. That was the only time I saw Doc get out of his chair. Okay. I saw Sam Cassell up, fired up. Come on, Doc. You got to get up. You got to get fired up. Something's got to happen. Get in Joel's ear. Get in Tobias's ear. I don't know if you guys saw that clip of Tobias not taking a 3-pointer. Doc was like all on the sideline. Like, come on, man. We need more of that. We need something.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up when Tobias passed up that wide open 3. Like, I don't want to get back to bashing Tobias Harris, but it was nice to see Doc like be a little bit frustrated with him. Hopefully he said something to him like, dude, the whole formula around Joel Embiid has to be shooting. You can't be passing the whole, like, you got the wide open shot because of we're running the ball from inside out. You got to shoot it. The hell. But back to Doc Rivers, he's just 90% retired, man. Like, I think he still loves basketball, but he's 62. Like, I'm not getting out of my chair when I'm 62. Did you say Sam Cassell? Yeah, because he's like 40. You need that age of a person that has energy and motivation and has wants to accomplish something. Like,
I don't even think Doc can physically get up that much.
All right, fine. If you don't want to get up,
have you ever seen that guy walk or try to walk?
Yeah, but okay.
You would think he was a football player his whole career.
Right. Okay, so he's just going to sit around and just be Doc Rivers, right? But my thing is, like, okay, even if you want to sit down, like, change something. I feel like we don't, like, I feel it's literally the same story. We go up against a bad team, we're up by 32 points, and then by the end of the third quarter, it's a 4-point ball game. And then we're bringing in our entire second unit. It's like how many times do you have to see something happen before you're like, okay, let me try something different? Like, how about we start the fourth quarter with a mixed, put Tobias in with the bench or put Joe, you know what I mean? He waits till 7.5 minutes to put Joel in. It's the same thing every game. When are you going to change? Just because Joel Embiid goes out and we change naturally, you see what happens? Like, when we were out, we were almost beating these teams without Joel and Tobias, right? Why? Because the ball was moving. Everybody was engaged, and we had to change naturally. Why are we not changing anything?
I would promote Sam Cassell tomorrow, but I don't own the team, and the owners don't know anything about the game, so it's not going to happen. But I'm just saying, like, I would have already tried to get an experienced guy who's a little bit younger.
I mean, yeah, just promote. I'm with the Sam Cassell thing.
All right, so realistically, where do you guys think we need to go? That's the next question. Like, well, we got to talk about it. The man who's at home still. Shout out to my guy Philly Mike. His dude was chilling in the playoffs as we lost the lead back. Same thing every game. Same thing every game. Where do you like? All right, first off, we got to address the elephant, right? 2-5. He's not coming back. We know that, right? So what do we do as an organization? Like, obviously, we need another player. We're not a finished product. We need another player. But how do you, like, are we going to be able to market this guy? What do we take at this point? I'm hearing this offer, that offer. Can we even get anything at this point? Do we wait until December 15th? Do we wait until the trade deadline? Like, what do you guys think we do?
Trade him for anything. If it's 3 role players, because everyone's complaining about Furkan Korkmaz. So how about you trade your boy Ben Simmons and get some good role players you could actually rely on? If you disagree with that take, then you're not allowed to criticize Furkan Korkmaz. It's that simple. It's a rule.
Let me ask you this, though. Like, is that really going to make us a championship team, though? That's my next question. Because I'm hearing people say, like, trade Tobias. I'm not going to go over the top and say,
I'm trading Tobias for
but we're
anything.
not.
You can't,
dude.
No, but you can't.
Yang is better.
Yeah,
than
nobody
Tobias.
would want him. That's the problem.
Let me tell you.
Here's a Honda
The
Civic
Kings.
for $2
I think the
million.
Kings will take him.
Let me tell you.
Bagley, Harrison Barnes. All right,
there is no way any player on this team gets traded before 2-5. No way. Because talk about the uncertainty if you trade Tobias, and then what happens if you can't trade you know who. There's no way that's happening. I'm almost convinced they don't want to trade 2-5. I think this is going to go into next year. That's where I'm starting to lean, and I'm getting worried about it. Like, you're like, you want role players, right? I mean,
I want anything.
Yeah, I understand. But it's like,
But I mean, you waited this long.
Right.
I'm
And they're
sick of
looking
this
at
waiting,
long.
bro.
the team. They're looking at the team as a whole, right? If we don't believe in Tobias now, what if we get back some, 2 role players? Are we going to even go to the second round?
We're still gonna get a good deal for Ben. I'm pretty confident in that. I think we could get CJ McCollum still. I think we could fleece that. The Blazers are a terrible defensive team right now. So I'll take CJ. Oh my God. You see what Joel Embiid made Seth Curry? Imagine what he can make CJ McCollum. You see what he did with JJ Redick too. CJ McCollum would be a 28-point per game scorer on the
Well,
Sixers.
doesn't that feel
if
like
we
the
got
best
rid
case
of
scenario
Tobias
at this
Harris.
point?
Yes.
Getting CJ?
Yes, exactly. And I feel like me and Romp have completely swapped sides now because he's like, yeah, we can still hold out for a player. I don't think we're getting anything for him. I think it's going to result in a buyout.
Yeah, because we haven't heard anything.
A
When was the
buyout?
last report? It used to be a
That's
daily
I'll
report.
cry
It's
if
going
we
to
have a
buyout.
buyout.
I'm telling
No.
you because
No.
okay. Who do you, if you're a GM of a team right now, do you want this guy? I
Listen.
don't want him anywhere near my team. I
I'm
don't-
generally known as the biggest Ben Simmons hater on the planet. At least he has, okay, he won't shoot. Okay, he won't do this, or this. At least he has a couple of things that people could argue are valuable. Tobias Harris is literally a $2 million Honda Civic. You can't sell it. It's not
Yep.
going anywhere. Nobody's
Right.
taking Tobias Harris. Everybody knows he doesn't make your team better. There's no way you're paying $180 million for it. Just no way. Ben Simmons at least has maybe a couple things that could be argued that you're going to get something in return for.
And he's
It's not gonna be-
younger.
I got to disagree
It's
because
not going to be Daryl Morey's 7 first-round picks and pick swaps and all that
Yeah.
nonsense, but
Yeah.
something.
I got to disagree, but I agree with you that he has attributes you can sell. But at this point, if I am a GM, I do not want a guy that has almost sat out half a season now because of spite.
That's true.
Like,
too.
what is that message? And okay, like I would love, my prediction is that we're going to trade him to the Kings. Okay. The
Mhm.
Kings
Yeah,
are
that's a
already a
good one.
disaster. So if you bring this guy in, right, he's not going to care at all about Sacramento. You think he can slide in Philly? What do you think he's going to do in Sacramento? That team couldn't care about winning if it slapped them across the face. They haven't been in the playoffs in 15
Yeah,
years.
but that's the thing, though. That market, they're garbage compared to like the Philadelphia market. This is like championship expectations every year. Like Sacramento, like they're literally known for making garbage trades every year and just like being a completely trash organization. Like if we're talking, out west in California, like I can name like 4 other teams in that market that are like more competent than them,
I agree 100%. All I'm saying is like this marketability factor that I feel like we've been hitting on for a while. I feel like it's not even there anymore. And that's what's pissing me off because there's nothing you can market at this point. Like the dude won't even show up.
yeah, the
He
only
got one practice clip before a game, and the shot still looked broke as so.
Dude, I don't want to say
I don't wanna-
I'm always right. But when we sat there and live streamed the draft, the only reason I was there because I was convinced Ben Simmons was getting traded. That was the best time to trade him. When it didn't happen, I didn't care about the rest of the draft. I was so mad I didn't care about anything. And I said every day, there's no way for this guy's trade value to go up. It's just not going to happen. It can't. You have to take – he's at his highest right now. That was at the draft last – it's way down. Well, look,
That's
the more longer you wait, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't make sense.
That's why I was so mad at NFT Maury because he waited too long. And I'm be sorry, I've been sick. But I'm gonna be honest. I think I'd rather trade Tobias Harris and just say Ben Simmons come back.
I'm with him on that. I'm serious. I'm so
sick
sour
of
on
Tobias
Tobias right now. And you know what? I'll take it a step further because I'll be honest with you guys. Like,
I'm gonna be on a pond.
like this team is so hard to watch with Tobias on the floor. Like Romp said earlier, so there was a stretch where Tobias wasn't playing. I can't remember what it was for, and Joel was in the lineup. Like this team was just moving the ball and stuff like that. I don't forget the contract. I know I mentioned that, and everybody in the chat was like bringing it up. I honestly look at this current Sixers team. I think just forget Ben Simmons. He's not even in this equation. Tobias is the 4th best player on this team. It goes Joel, it goes Maxey, it goes Seth Curry, and then Tobias. All right. Forget the contract, all those things. I don't care. So, with that being said, like, obviously we would all expect a Ben Simmons trade to come before ever trading Tobias Harris. But like, if there's an opportunity to trade him and benefit this team, like, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. I don't care if it's before a Ben Simmons deal. I really don't care.
Before I let DJ rip into that, let me hit these super chats real quick because I feel like he's about to go off. Seth with the $5 super chat says, feel like this team has struggled since the bench has been struggling. I agree. Scoring options, Joel, 2-5 trade candidate, Maxey and Toby. I agree. That should be the order if we can get the right guy. So I agree 100%. Shout out to Seth again with the $2 donation. Says Toby cannot be the second scoring option for a chip. Exactly. Been saying this for a minute, y'all. He's I literally call him the 20-point per game scorer. He is a third option at best. At best. And I feel like with the absence of 2-5, we're trying to treat this guy. We're trying to give him a promotion. He's not physically capable. He's the third option on this team. We're missing a second option. DJ, take it away.
There's no way you forgot what it looks like when Ben Simmons is on the floor. There's just no way. There's just no way. You want to go back to crossing half court and handing the ball off to somebody who's a
No, we got
actual
Maxey
guard,
now.
and then standing under the basket, and then the NBA still calls him a point guard, and it's just that's just disastrous basketball. I'm glad that he quit because I'm glad that he stopped playing because I was so sick of watching it. I'm not saying Tobias fits perfectly amongst anybody, but Ben Simmons, oh my God, I'll watch anybody over him.
Let me tell you guys something. First off, you guys are out of your mind to want that impact on this team. Like we are in a situation
On the roster, not in the game. We never said, just sitting on him as an asset. Obviously.
What's the difference? He could be on a roster.
It's the same. It's the same thing as now. He's not playing. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's still on the roster. He just
Tobias messes up the ball movement and the spacing. Oh my God!
Let me tell you guys something.
You can't swing the ball to Ben Simmons.
As much as
do anything.
Yeah, he's done. As much as I am frustrated with how we're playing, let me tell you guys something. If we trade Tobias Harris, which won't happen, by the way, but if we were to,
should happen.
Joel Embiid is not winning a championship in this city. Why? Because we're not getting anything back for Tobias. The contract is too bad. Then we have to deal with the diva. Okay, then we're essentially going into, I guess, a retool. I mean, it would essentially be a rebuild if you didn't have Joel Embiid. Like, we trade Tobias, we are conceding. We have to get a number 2 option and go full force. We don't have cap flexibility. We got to rely on Tyrese to grow up in 1 year as if he was going 4 years. We got to rely on that, and we got to rely on these streaky bench players to get it done. There's no other way. There's no guys available. All right. Dame is not leaving Portland. I'm there. It's done. He just doesn't want to. Bradley Beal and the Wizards are playing okay. Who are we going to get? I would love to trade for Jaylen Brown. That's my top target. It's not happening. It's not happening. And Malcolm Brogdon can't be traded. So who are we going to trade for? If we trade 2-5 for role players, which, like you said, is probably realistic at this point, we're not winning the championship because Tobias isn't the number 2 option. So we are in a bad place. And it is because 2-5, bringing this all back full circle, it's because the guy won't improve. Now he's sitting on the bench. We don't even have anything in place of him. And it's a bad situation. So he's never welcome back in this city. Never.
No.
Never. Let me rephrase this. Take everything out of it, the personal side. I would rather Ben Simmons as a basketball player than Tobias Harris. But I was mostly joking just to get DJ fired up and the chat fired up. But I don't know. I just think trading Tobias for I think if you insert Niang into the starting lineup in front of Tobias, it would do wonders for this team because there's been so many occasions where Joel's posting up, and then he draws 2 defenders, passes out to Niang, and he shoots it right away and hits it. And Tobias can't do that. It's crazy. I'm telling you, Niang is a better fit for the Sixers. He's not a better player. Well, I think he is, but I'm not going to say that. But Niang is a better fit for the Sixers. I'm telling you, he's better than Tobias Harris. It's just that simple with his play style.
Yeah, because the whole thing when you're trying to run a game inside out is shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When people were talking about Elton Brand, you can go all the way back to whoever you want to. The team was built wrong from the start. The team has still not been built the way it should be built around Joel Embiid. It's still not.
Look, man, I'm not trying to harp on Joel. Like, again, I love Joel. But I'm sorry. Going back to what I said earlier, part of it is because he's not playing the right way. What happened to Joel from last year? I don't understand. Like, you can't tell me that you come out and have one of the most dominant seasons as a big man. And I honestly feel like it was after that 2-5 report came out about him not wanting to play with him. And Joel, I feel like he was like thinking, I don't want to be a selfish player. And he's like, all right, let me get more of my teammates incorporated. That's the only thing I can come up with. Other than that, why, now that you have more space, why are you not dominating in the paint? He's averaging what, 22 a game? That's not Joel. Joel should be averaging 30 a game. Nobody can stop this dude. And he's not even as good at passing out of doubles as he was last year. And I love Joel, but it's time we start holding everybody accountable because we need to win a championship, man. And we need Joel to be the best version of Joel. And that's just what I got on him right now.
I have an extreme hot take.
I think the last one wasn't? Okay.
No, you said, RB, you're like, we're relying on Tyrese Maxey. I don't even think we're even relying on him. Like, we don't use him to his full potential. We're like there is a 30-point per game scorer. Maybe not that right now, but there's potential for Maxey to be like a 25-plus point per game scorer. But like Tobias and Joel, I don't think they realize that. Like, you're telling me they watch those games from home and we're like, why didn't they like tell him, yo, just attack when we're back? But like all of a sudden he comes back and Tyrese Maxey's a shell of himself, looking not aggressive. So my hot take is I think Tyrese Maxey should be the number one key to the offense. I think we should utilize him more than Embiid, in my opinion, and just use Embiid as a post-up player because Maxey's that good. He can get to the rim, but we don't use him. His usage rating is like 20% higher than Tobias. Tobias is like way high, like close to Damian Lillard. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
We need to use Tyrese Maxey more. Maybe not as much as Joel. That's a little crazy, but you know, I get crazy sometimes. But I'm telling you, bro, we gotta just trust Maxey. I don't care if he's 21 years old. Just give him the keys. That's our only chance.
100%. I actually agree with that. And I just want to add one thing. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Tyrese Maxey in the pick and roll game looked 10 times better with Andre Drummond than it has now with Joel Embiid. Why? I just feel like Maxey played much more freer.
Yeah.
Them guys. Like, I don't notice, like, even I was watching him closely last night. The kid is quick as lightning. Like, seeing him right here, he is so fast. But it's like when he's running a pick and roll with Joel and Tobias is over here on the wing, I feel like he stops mid-play just to defer to Tobias.
Yes. Oh, I hate it so much.
Yeah.
When we're playing without these guys, Reese was coming around the screen. He was pulling up midi. It was beautiful. He didn't think about it. Now I feel like there's, again, this like, not ego, but it's like this known thing. Like, okay, Tobias is paid more than me. I have to defer. Joel is the man. I have to. No, Max, you got to go. Like,
I'm the man.
Shots a game. If he was on his own team right now, he'd be averaging 28 a game. 28 a game.
Dude,
this is coaching, man. Like, I agree, but Doc needs to step in and make that clear.
No, Doc thinks the opposite. Doc's the one that told him in the beginning, I coached Rajon Rondo, and he had 4 Hall of Famers around him, and so if he was going to take a shot, it had to be a good one. He said that to Tyrese Maxey. He's making him think about not shooting because he's supposed to be getting the ball to Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. It's the wrong way to teach a 21-year-old point guard. It's the absolute wrong way. And then you see in the Minnesota game, down in crunch time, he finally just takes a jab step, 2 dribbles, blows by everybody and finishes. And he can do that against anybody. And the play where he tried to throw it back to Embiid, the turnover that ended the game that everyone got on him for. He got around that screen and he was one-on-one. He can blow by that guy. He's just so focused on, I got to be a point guard because Doc Rivers said so. I got to make the right play. No, just fucking score.
Exactly. And another
God, don't listen to Doc Rivers ever.
Just fucking score.
Nobody ever listened to Doc Rivers.
Another point I mentioned earlier was about Seth Curry. Like, this guy comes into games, he starts 4 for 5, and then you don't see him till the third quarter. Like, I don't understand. But anyway, Seth with the $5 super chat says, I agree. We're kind of stuck. Toby's not going anywhere. No trade available for 2-5. Morey getting the guys we have was a miracle. Romp 100% start Niang. I agree 100%. We just got to hope for the best, man. But we cannot carry this out past the trade deadline. If we do that, we are conceding this year. And who knows with Joel? I mean, he does get hurt every season. We got to be honest about it. Like, we got to hope and pray he's ready for playoff time.
You're on Joel's neck, RB. I kind of respect it.
True.
Listen,
I love it.
Man, I'm trying to get out of that phase where I'm like, because I used to be this way with 2-5. Like, even if he had flaws, I'm like, okay, here's the positive. But nah, like, we got to hold our guys accountable. You know what I mean? We all need to be better. And it's just not cutting it right now. Nobody is cutting it. So I don't know.
Don't you think he's just tired though, man? Like, how many times has he been banged up heading into the postseason? And like, now he sees Ben Simmons making all this money. He's literally sitting out, and it's like, my GM hasn't been able to trade this guy to give me any help. And this team, like, we're relying on a 21-year-old to be like the second best player on this team. And I think Maxey can do that. Like, what Romp was saying was right on. The most important dynamic on this team right now, it's not Joel in the post, you know, it's not Tyrese Maxey, the individual. You don't know what it is. It's those two playing together. They need to literally just run pick and rolls till they can't do it anymore. Like, Maxey needs to be able to pull up and hit the mid-range shot. Like, I know he can get to the floater. Like, that's got to be the offense in crunch time, by the way, unless, you know, if Joel has a mismatch or a one-on-one situation, yeah, you get him the ball, but like, that's not going to happen. Teams are game planning to take him away, you know, and to go off of what Eastwood said, like, Maxey's in his head because Doc wants him, you know, to be a playmaker. And that's why that turnover happened. If he literally just forget, somebody in the comments said Maxey can't be a point guard. I don't care. The point guard position, like, it's different. It's not about averaging 10 assists per game. It's about controlling the game, generating offense, whether it's usually most of the time for yourself. Like, Damian Lillard's not known, you know what I mean, to be this high assist guy. He's known to be a guy who can go out there and just generate open looks, like, for himself. Like, that's how the point guard position is played. Steph Curry, I think his career averages like 6 assists per game. It's about scoring the basketball, pulling the defense towards you. That's how you generate offense. And that's all Joel Embiid needs, man. Like, that's why Maxey and Embiid, that's the most important dynamic the rest of the season. That's more important than anything, more important than Tobias, more important than getting a Ben Simmons trade, if we're being honest.
Yeah, the problem is that he's young, and he's always going to be, in Doc Rivers' eyes, the young guy. He's never going to be like, all right, fine, Maxey's our number 2, we're running. He's just never, I just don't think he's ever going to do that until he's, you know, 27. Yeah. At least.
Yeah.
Like RB was saying, like, can we change some stuff up? Like, we're doing the same thing in crunch time and it's the same result. Yeah. Turnovers.
The last 5 years.
It's ridiculous. You actually have a player who can get to the rim whenever he pleases. I don't care when Maxey misses a layup, because I know more often than not it's going in and he's 100% confident. And if he gets fouled, he's going to make his foul shots. I don't care. Plus, he'll make the right pass. He needs to make more passes, like riskier passes, because sometimes it's there, but he just doesn't want to risk it for the turnover. But like, I'm telling you, man, if Tyrese Maxey should be averaging at least 20 points, and it's a shame he's not.
Yeah, I agree with what you said as well, Steven, about like Joel's got to be fed up with this stuff. And again, I'm not trying to slander Joel. I just know he can be great, and I don't want to see another wasted season. When it comes to Joel, like, I feel like another big integral part of this team is Seth Curry. I feel like we're underutilizing him completely. Seth Curry's a monster when he's got Joel setting screens for him. Tyrese can even dish it off to Curry, but it's like, again, going back to Tobias, like when Tobias is on the floor, sometimes these dudes just get lost. I wouldn't even mind Furkan as a spot-up shooter with the starters sometimes. Like, mix something up, even Isaiah Joe. But these dudes get lost, and it turns into ISO ball. And I don't know, man. I just can't put my tongue on it. And another thing I notice is when we're in a tough spot, when we're giving up a 20-point lead to a terrible team, why can nobody step up and stop it? You know, why don't we have a stopper on this team? Like some dude that can just, I don't know, not transcend, but just like step it up and get a stop or something. Why do we just let it happen? And Doc just lets it happen. It's like, good teams don't do that. Do the Warriors do that? No. Do the Suns do that? No. Like, we got to have someone that can just put a stop to something. And I feel like we all just let it go. We need we need someone out there screaming, honestly.
I think the problem is when you talk about Seth and Maxey and everybody, and then like Tobias, the reason he doesn't fit with those guys is because they're all shooters and ball handlers. They can all either, shoot the three quick right when they catch it, or make a move on their way to the rim and throw up a little floater or whatever, and it all happens quick. Tobias he slows everything down, and his main strength is the worst shot in basketball, mid-range jump shot. And unless you're DeMar DeRozan, it's not a great shot.
Contested mid-range shot.
You see him pass up a wide open three to dribble into a contested mid-range, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he can't jump.
He doesn't have like a real. He kind of just flicks it. I don't know where it's going.
He's not even that good of a mid-range shooter. Like, he's a good mid-range shooter, but not great. Like, if you need a bucket, like, let's just say it's tie game on the line. Like, I'm not confident in him even getting a good mid-range shot off. I think he's going to miss it.
No, I think his best thing is like the back down turnaround jump, like the turnaround post fadeaway. And that's unless you're a center. No. I want guards around my center.
Yeah, I agree. Ibrahim with the $5 super chat says Tobias for John Wall makes sense. Hate to say it. Wall and Maxey combo works, and a Simmons trade becomes much easier when thinking about fit. What do you guys think about John Wall?
I mean, he's damaged goods, if we even want to call him that anymore. But like at this point, I'd be willing to try it. That's how much I hate Tobias's fit on this team.
What is Houston really getting out of that? I think their plan is to
a good guy for their young culture, man. A great locker room guy.
No, he's a selfish basketball player.
Look,
it's not even a good guy.
Expensive Jared Dudley at that point.
If John Wall gets bought out, I would think about it. But I'm not taking a $44 million contract. There's no way. No way.
Damn, it's that much.
It's the worst contract in basketball. It's worse than Tobias.
Oh my
God. It's insane.
That's why they can't trade him. Rick Bennett with the $5 super chat says, you talk about Embiid being tired. How much of it is mental? Which is worse, physical or mental fatigue? We're still early in the season. And I think it's a good point. Like we still, it is a long season. We're going to catch fire, I'm sure, again. But, Morey still needs to capitalize. We need to get another playmaker in here. We need to get someone that can take the last shot because we just seen it. We need it. But to your point about, mental fatigue, I'm sure like all this is definitely taking a toll. Like, first off, shout out to Joel for being all right. He had a struggle being sick the last couple of weeks. Like he was out a while. And I'm sure like yesterday he looked exhausted. I mean, I don't even think he should be playing yet, honestly. I think his knee's feeling better, but I think like physically he's just not there. But it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress being the dude on this team.
Yeah, and he just had COVID, man. That shit sucks, dude. It sucks. Yeah. Takes a lot out of you. He lost weight. I've heard two different people now say, doesn't it look like Embiid slimmed down a little bit? Like,
yeah, my dad said
he just had coronavirus, bro. You can't eat. You don't get off the couch. You don't do anything. It's terrible. And then, if I had it and it lasted like 3 weeks, and if I had to jump up and play basketball, oh my God, they're like, no, he doesn't have his legs under him. It looks bad, but it's because he just has to slowly get his physical fitness back. I definitely don't think he looks in shape right now, but I think he's exhausted by going through coronavirus for 3 weeks, honestly.
Yeah.
So what do the Sixers do? Oh yeah, you just had COVID. You're an injury-prone player. Let's make you do everything and run the point guard position and just do everything.
Played 45 minutes, man.
It's just like I love Embiid, but like he doesn't have to do everything. When you have Maxey, when you have Seth Curry, like he needs to take a lesser role and just give the keys to the offense to Tyrese Maxey. One of the biggest reasons why Steph Curry is the best player in basketball is because if teams are double, triple teaming him, he's totally fine with it. He'll literally stand in the corner for a game. He did it against the Raptors when they were like double teaming him, and he'll let everyone else do whatever. He doesn't care. He takes a lesser role if teams are playing really hard on him. And like I feel like the Sixers just don't utilize Embiid at all. They're like, yo, just make Embiid do everything. Instead of, oh, let's set a screen for him and make him go to the other side and then get him on the block and then pass it to him. And he makes one move and it's a layup or a foul. Do we ever do that? No, we don't think outside the box. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, very
That's
stable.
That's why those Warriors teams were so elite, though, because every single player on that team was like that. There wasn't a single ego until Kevin Durant came, and they all deferred to him in the fourth quarter, and then he left because he's the only one with an ego, so he didn't fit in.
Steph Curry took a back seat to Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
That's how unselfish. He's the most unselfish player in the history.
I got something I want to bring up with you guys, but let's read these real quick. It's your boy with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Says this year is one of the most open for the chip. Sixers should try to get some solid pieces and make a run. Embiid won't be around forever. I think it's a good point.
Oh, can I expand on my point? I forgot to say something.
Yeah.
Like Embiid has to get better at the little things. Be a better picker. Be a better roller. Go for offensive rebounds. Do the little things. Like he could be so good at those, and that will make up for him not doing everything else. If he just focuses on those little things, like he should have rolled harder on that maxi pass. He said it himself, but he's not used to doing that because he's used to getting the ball at the top of the key and doing everything else. So just focus on.
He's not used to easy offense, right? He's always had to score the hardest way possible.
Exactly. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
He catches the ball way too high, and by the time he's putting it on the floor, he's using up all his energy to even get to the basket, and then he's usually getting hacked. And why not catch it? Last year, you used to catch it right under the basket. Couple dribbles, put it up. Way too easy, or he's getting fouled.
Right. Is that the coach or is that Joel Embiid? Because we've been saying this for years now. We've been saying it for years now. The reason that we fell apart in that Toronto Raptors series was because Joel Embiid had the ball at the top of the key every play. We changed coaches. We're still saying the same thing.
It's tough, man. It is. Andre with the $2 super chat. Simmons for Westbrook thoughts.
I'd rather no player than Westbrook.
At that point.
Yeah, I don't want Westbrook. That'd be terrible. Lakers are falling apart. The Clever with the super chat. Thank you very much for the support. Shout out to everybody supporting. We got 200 strong in the chat. Guys, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to all the channels. Appreciate y'all being here. One thing we have not talked about, I'm surprised nobody brought it up. Where the hell is the defensive intensity on this team? I've never seen, I'm telling you, and I saw it right in front of my eyes last. I've never seen so many players on other teams go up for free layups. I'm talking about free layups. I'm watching Embiid, Drummond, whoever. Like, they don't even jump. I'm like, bro, these teams are getting free points. Where's the defense at? That's another reason this team is slipping a little bit. Where is the defense? Anybody?
Yeah, like I said yesterday, they had more, or the last two games, they had more points off of drives than any team in the NBA. They gave up more points off of drives than any team in the NBA. Saw them, felt like a million times yesterday. Just a backdoor cut, wide open, nobody there.
Nobody.
Like, what? Transition. They inbound the ball, throw it down the court. Guys behind the whole defense. Like, what? What's going on here? But I think it's the speed thing and something a lot of players just came back and they got to get their legs under them, really.
Well, you got Danny and Tobias in the starting lineup, and they're both so slow. They got Bricks' feet, both of them. Let's be honest. Like, come on.
I think it's more miscommunication. Like, I don't see these guys like locked in a lot. I don't see them locked in.
It's almost like there's a Ben Simmons size hole on defense, guys. I don't know.
Maybe there is, but it's like
no, it's don't get that out of here.
Well, also like Matisse no longer being a starter kind of factors into that. But I hear you though. Like, it's a team wide that because defense, like obviously it's a lot of one-on-one in the NBA, but it's team defense. You got to play a help defense. Also, like Joel, like I mean, come on, he's preserving himself. Like he could be the best. He could be defensive player of the year. He could go up and try to block a lot more shots than he is now. It seems like he's not really doing it quite as much. But even if he just positioned himself better, but yeah, that's the thing that sucks though, is like we're really only a competent team if Joel is like fully healthy and giving it his all. And to be honest, it's not fair to ask him to do that because we are in like game 20 or so of a 82 game season, and the guy just wants to be fully healthy when the games actually matter.
I mean,
You're not wrong.
It's
You're
frustrating, man.
totally wrong.
I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not trying to get in the playoffs as the 7 seed. I'm not trying to do that. We need to win games. We need to build our identity, whatever it may be. And we need to make a trade happen. Because honestly, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of watching the same thing every night. I feel like I watch the same thing every night. We start off either like spicy hot, and then we give up a lead, and it goes down to the last couple minutes. Or we just come out with no energy at all. And we just don't have it that night. That's what we've been saying. Oh, we didn't have it that night. Come on, man. Come on,
We
man.
didn't have it that night. Yeah,
looking
we know you didn't have it that night.
I'm looking at the percentages here. Joel's shooting 41% from 3. Tobias is shooting 32.
Joel's over
Furkan.
40%.
I
Furkan
told you, man. He holding the
Say
team back.
Tobias again. Say Tobias again.
32.1 for Tobias.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not
Sucks,
done.
man.
Wait, how
Furkan.
many attempts for Tobias?
Tobias 4.1 per game and Embiid
Yeah, it doesn't help.
3.5.
It feels like
sucks, man.
1-3.
That's why he's passing him up now because he can't make them.
Right. And then you got Shake.
Shot is
Shake's
absurd.
27% from
Yeah,
3.
what happened to him? I forgot to mention him. He looks like he just can't play basketball at all anymore.
I think it's who he is.
He's been fine. Come on.
His
Shooting,
shot went away. Yeah,
he
but
was a shooter coming into the league. This guy, I have no
Exactly.
confidence in him.
What's he been finding?
Yeah, Steven, I agree. Like I used to say when Shake Milton was wide open, it felt like it was always going in like a couple years
Right.
ago. Yeah, now it's like
What
he's
happened?
not even a threat to shoot.
It's like flat when he shoots too. It's ugly. It looks like it hurts.
RB, can I just
Wow.
ruin your night and year and probably next 5 years?
Oh,
Yeah, after this though.
Another hot take.
Yeah,
We
finish
can't handle
these.
this
Yeah,
many
finish
hot
After
takes
this,
in one
after
show.
this. After this. Furkan shooting 32% from 3. Same as Tobias, actually. So actually the same percentage, down to the same percentage point.
Is Furkan shooting more though off the bench?
He's shooting almost 2 attempts more than
Oh
one
my-
more than Tobias.
That's sad.
Oh my
dude. That's
God! At
dude.
least Furkan
Actually,
He's off the
let
bench
it
shooting
loose.
6 threes a game.
Yeah, actually, it's a good point. Niang
That's
and
way
Korkmaz,
more impressive than Tobias.
Niang and Korkmaz lead in 3-point attempts per game. Niang
Yeah,
and
exactly. Niang's better than Tobias.
They're both better shooters than Tobias, though, in my opinion.
Right. Which is saying like your,
Right, but
your
Niang shooting
lineups are backwards here.
49%.
and Korkmaz
Oh,
is
so what
better.
you're telling me is we should trade Tobias and just
What I'm
Not only
saying is-
that,
Go ahead.
when
I'm saying we
Korkmaz
need
gets
some shooters, bro.
when Korkmaz gets into the lane, he'll pass it out. When Tobias gets into the lane, oh, that shot's going up. That's another thing about
What did you
Tobias.
just say to me? Did you just say Korkmaz is going to pass up a shot? Because I know
No, I'm
you're-
talking about when he drives in the lane. He always does that. Come on now.
does
but
what?
Tobias-
goes up
yeah,
on
he does
one
generate
foot.
a lot of open looks.
He generated,
kind of
dude.
getting there.
Sixers fans
I-
underrate that. I'm telling you.
Look,
No,
what
listen,
did
I used
what did
to underrate that. I see that a lot more this season. For some reason this season than I've seen before where
It's
when I
because
see-
they actually give him the ball.
when I see Korkmaz run a pick and roll, he actually makes point guard plays where
Mhm.
does?
he doesn't just look at the roll man. He'll make the skip pass. He'll
Yeah.
even
Oh,
look
yeah.
at the
You
skip
want-
pass and make the pass
He
this
gets
way. I'm like, this
cocky with
guy's
it,
actually
too.
making plays.
You want to hear
cocky
something
with it.
funny? You want to hear something funny? He's a better point guard than Shake Milton.
Mhm.
How's that
He's-
possible?
He's the
You're
best
right on.
passer on the team, if I'm being real.
No, seriously. No, you're not wrong. You're right on.
How's that possible? And look, what did I tell y'all at the beginning of the season? We need a consistent bench lethal scorer. We need one bad.
Well, it was. I think the plan was that to be Tyrese Maxey off the
Right.
bench
Right,
before somebody quit.
right. Well, we need one bad. We need some ball. We need a guy who's just going to create. You know who I'm talking about. Like there are select guys in the league. We need a guy like that.
Yeah, there's no spark. No
Exactly.
spark off the bench. And Paul Reed's in the G League.
Yeah. But Ron, before I let you go with your hot take, The Clever with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. He says, can we talk about the all bench lineup and how it has to go ASAP and 2-5 for De'Aaron Fox?
Mm.
What do you guys think about De'Aaron Fox?
I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
hell yeah.
in a heartbeat. But why would Sacramento do it?
Because
it's
god awful and they're
Sacramento.
going nowhere.
Kings
think
are
Harris
probably the
still
one
fit.
team.
Do you think he could still fit next to Maxey in a lineup? Like a 1-2 punch?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Just don't let
Nice.
Doc coach him because he'll try and turn Fox into a facilitator. And by the way, they can coexist. If there's two ball dominant guards, by the way, guys, they can coexist. I'm not sure if anybody knows that or not.
Yeah, I don't think Maxey has to even be ball dominant. He could. I think Maxey could even be more of just a combo guard if you had somebody like De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically is right now. They don't give him the rock enough.
Yeah. I would just be a little bit concerned about the defense, but if we were able to throw in another player, like honestly, I don't know why Buddy Hield is still in handcuffs in Sacramento. The dude wanted out 3 years ago, but Sacramento needs to do something. So I'm banking on a 2-5 trade to Sacramento. Send him to California. Let him do what he needs to do. And
That might be one of the best scenarios because that's a team with a lot of young talent that absolutely stinks.
they have too many guards. They have way too many
Dude,
guards.
Chat, you guys got to chill. Fox is
Yeah,
good.
he doesn't give a shit. You think
He's
Fox
in-
cares?
He's
That
in
game we just
Sacramento.
played now.
Yeah.
You saw his body language. He didn't.
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
probably-
care. It's the same with Embiid. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, you're in Sacramento. You're like LA's redheaded stepchild. Nobody's even at the game. He doesn't give a damn about anything.
Hey, he's
Yo,
just there to
and
get the
quick
paycheck.
Quick point. I see in the chat here, just brought up a thought in my head. Kemba Walker got honestly just taken out of the Knicks rotation today. Like he's done. They're starting Alec Burks. By the way, Alec Burks, guys. Alec Burks. I miss Alec Burks. That is what this bench needs. Okay. But anyway,
I think I'm going to put hashtag fire Brett Brown on the wall behind me and just leave it there forever. It just lives on forever. It's unbelievable. This guy cut Alec Burks.
Raul Neto is playing pretty well for Washington too.
Oh man.
but would you guys entertain a Kemba? What if the Knicks said we'll give you Kemba Walker for Furkan Korkmaz?
Kemba Walker.
I don't
He's
know.
struggling
They're
that
making the
much?
same- They're making around the same.
Nah, Kemba's a better. I mean, Furkan's a better defender, and he's more unselfish. You're talking about streaky. That's why Kemba's out of the lineup because he can't hit a shot.
And he's banged up all the time.
He's banged up. He definitely. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. I was asking.
No, it's a good
Yeah.
idea though. I hear you.
I'm just saying there's limited options this year. I'm telling you guys, man.
I think the fall off of Kemba Walker is sad, but it's also like the Charlotte Hornets were so bad forever, and he can score. So it was like, oh, look at this guy. He's dropping 35, dropping 40, dropping 50. Lit us up for 60, I think, against Jimmy Butler. And that overhype of him just because he was taking 35 shots on a bad team.
You want to know something though? Like, just a thought in my head is like, has Kemba really been with a team he fits with other than Charlotte? I feel like any guard that goes to the Celtics, like,
But does he fit with a team?
True. But has he fit with the Celtics or the Knicks? That's what I'm asking. Like,
I think Kemba Walker needs to be knocked down a few pegs. He'd be a great six man.
I was just gonna say that's like his perfect role. I did like if he were to come here, like that's it right there. That's the guy you're looking for.
Yeah, Kemba Walker, six man. I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think he's not a great point guard. He has blinders on. He's just either scoring or not scoring.
Yeah, I agree. And he's been banged up, which has definitely been a detriment. And we got Aaron with the $5 super chat. Says Fox is a worse shooter than Maxey, and unlike Maxey, his mechanics are kind of broke. If we could get a better fit like McCollum, I would be happier. I would love.
I'd rather McCollum. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm on the CJ or Jaylen Brown train.
CJ.
Jaylen Brown would be awesome.
Jaylen Brown would be the epitome of, I don't know, the best trade I've ever seen in my life.
That's exactly what we need.
Could you imagine?
How and why? How and why would that happen?
I mean, Daryl Morey's probably asked for Jason Tatum at this point.
And Jaylen Brown.
And like the ghost of Larry Bird. Whatever else, man.
Do you guys?
He asked him for two of the banners that are hanging up too. Give us the 83, 84.
Do you think Morey's actually going to like put his pride to the side and say, like, whatever it is, whenever the trade deadline is, like February something. Like, do you think he's just going to put his pride to the side and just say, you know what? I've just been asking for way too much. Let me just take some.
You know what, man?
Like, how long?
I feel like I've been so negative on him, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, he pushes this whole like NFT thing so much. Like, the guy is clearly like a lunatic, man. Like, I don't know if you saw that like metaverse thing. I don't want to go on to a rant about that, but like the people involved with this are crazy. Like, this whole like online NFT like metaverse thing. Like, I don't know. And it's kind of interesting. You go back to when we fired Brett, and I guess we wanted a new GM. Like, what, Daryl Morey's just like magically available. Doc Rivers is magically available. Like, I don't know. I'm starting to think both of these guys just like, I don't know, just don't care as much as
collecting paychecks.
And right. And he keeps coming out here and saying like, we're only trading Ben for a difference maker. Well, how come when that Boston report comes out about Jaylen Brown, he demands Jaylen and like 3 other like role players? Like, what, Jaylen Brown isn't a difference maker? Like, what the heck? The guy's averaging like, I think this is a hot take. People rip me up for it. I think he's a better basketball player than Jason Tatum. I swear those two can't coexist.
You're right.
Dude, I love
serious.
Jaylen Brown.
He's a better basketball
Brown's
player
amazing.
than Tatum.
You're right, bro.
And he's not a volume shooter either. He's just like, he's a combo. He can sit in the corner and just catch and shoot. He's I love that dude.
He shoots like 7-8 threes a game, man.
And he's
back
got
to Daryl Morey. Back to Daryl Morey. I think we're getting to the point in sports in general where people are making so much money that it's hard to tell if people are still motivated. Like, oh, I have to succeed here or I'm going to get fired. Okay, I have $200 million. It's not like, oh, I better make this because I need to keep my job because I need to. I don't know, man. Like, it's tough to know. And the NFT stuff just tells me he's just into money and making more money and being an investor and being rich and making more money. I don't know.
I will add, Tobias Harris is huge on NFTs.
Oh, of course he is. Fuck.
There's $180 million to do to with.
Huge on him. No, I just want to throw it out there, but Aaron, appreciate it, my guy. All right, Romp.
It's a $20,000 profile picture.
So oh yeah, wait, Ron, you've had this hot take this whole time you've been sitting on, right?
Someone said Al Max said Daryl Morey's the best thing to happen to the 76ers.
Give me a break.
Recently, yes.
This is
recently, absolutely.
Oh,
wait, what?
We just crown people so early before they actually do anything.
Nah, that's right though. That is right, because if we had Elton Brand, could you imagine what would have happened during this whole fiasco? He would have
come and fix it.
He would have got.
Where are we now? What is the state of the Sixers right now? What are we doing?
It's not Al Horford and Josh Richardson, and
he would have signed. I don't know. He would have brought Samuel Dallenberg out of retirement and gave him $50 million.
Dude, my friend was with me draft night. I showed him. I was like, if Tyrese Maxey falls, we got to get this guy. Showed him one clip. He's like, oh yeah. I'm not gonna like crown Morey. It was a great pick. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna be like on my knees. Oh, Morey's the best thing ever. Like, Morey's been good, but he's fucked up this Ben Simmons situation, and he should have traded Tobias Harris for scraps by now. That's another thing I'm on him about. And this NFT crap is pissing me off too. But back to my hot take. The Sixers aren't winning a championship with Joel Embiid, because the two players, Tobias and Joel Embiid, they're not going to buy into a system that will result in a championship. The way we play basketball now with the current roster, it's just not going to win you a chip, because we can't close games because we're doing the same things that has lost us games in the past, and nothing's changing, like you said, RB. So I've already accepted it. I love Maxey, so I'm enjoying the team. But like,
bro,
unless Embiid takes tries to get better at like screening and rolling and the little things as we were talking about before, then we have a chance. But I don't know. I just don't see it. I'm gonna be honest.
I think that might be why Daryl's sitting on the Ben Simmons thing for so long, because he might also think you can't, like, Joel Embiid can't be a number one. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at centers in history, dominant centers, like Shaq had Kobe, Shaq had Dwayne Wade.
Right.
Like you can't.
Yeah, and that's Shaq who we're talking about, like probably the best center to ever play.
Exactly. Would he have won a championship without another like stud ball handler on the perimeter that can create everything? Like he needs a guy. He needs a superstar.
Look, man, Romp, you said it yourself, my guy. Current roster, and you want to trade Tobias Harris on a
Dude, I want to
championship
do
team.
just
On a
anything.
championship team, you're telling me you wouldn't want a third or fourth option?
Nah, see, I don't even think Tobias. See, that's the thing.
I don't even.
Tobias, you can't win a championship with him on your team.
I
I
don't
don't even
agree
think
with
he's
that.
good at basketball. I'm gonna be honest.
All right, you
Like
guys are
team
going way
basketball, I
too
don't
over
think
the
he's good
top.
at team basketball. He makes
How
me hate
important was he
basketball.
really?
You're
So,
going
like,
I just
the
rewatched the-
closest.
I just rewatched the Minnesota highlights. Like he had 3 or 4 buckets at the end of the game. Like he can score. He's
You're
not.
going
because
way
There's a lot
too
of guys
over
who
the
can
top.
score, though.
You're going way out of the box because here's the problem. When you have a diva who is supposed to live up and be the second option on your team, and he's not here anymore. See, you're in the mindset of, oh, Tobias Harris isn't putting up 30 a game. He's not doing his job. No, that's not it. He never will be the second guy. And Elton Brand paid him like he shouldn't have done that. He should have paid Jimmy Butler. That could have been the second guy.
oh, dude,
You're thinking about, you got to come
Right,
down and
right.
realize Tobias can be a great third or fourth option on a
no,
championship.
I don't even think he can be that. He's a
But why
sixth man
not?
in my
We're
eyes.
asking him to do, he's doing too much in the offense. If you have another dog, a guy that can get you 30 a game, why can't Tobias be a
But he
third or
can't.
fourth option?
He's not a
You
good
got
spot up
Maxey.
shooter, and he
I was
can't
just gonna
take people
say.
off the dribble. He's slow as molasses.
He's-
So, like, I just don't like him as a player, and I
That's
think
fair.
he should be gone.
You're allowed to not like him. But what I'm saying is, like, when you put yourself in Daryl Morey's mindset, if you get
I
rid of
know
Tobias,
that I don't do that. I'm not the
I know-
NFT brainiac
I
like
know
him,
that.
so I'm
can't
gonna
trade
hate
him.
that guy.
you're being
It's
the
not
reactionary fan. You're thinking,
Yeah, that's
okay,
who I am,
right.
though.
let's give Joel Embiid up then. Let's give Tobias and Joel up. Since we're not winning the ship, right? Let's go full rebuild. That's
I'm
what you're
fine with
leaning
that.
towards. If
I'll
you
be-
trade Tobias and Ben, you're done. What are we going to do in free agency?
I think we're better without Tobias.
Maybe, but we've yet to see an actual number 2 option in the like that actually runs number 2 in the offense. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm
If
saying is I'm not
Tyrese
I'm not the biggest Tobias fan either in his fit amongst people, but you don't have anyone else. So, like I said at the end of the Timberwolves game when he got a couple of clutch buckets, who else is doing that on this team right now?
But that's my thing with Morey too. Like he had a chance to go get CJ McCollum if he wasn't asking for the world. And CJ McCollum can close games. He has done it in big moments in the Western Conference semifinals and like stuff like that. So like, why not just try him? But now we're gonna get nothing for Ben. We're just gonna hold out and, like you said, RB, like what are we gonna get from Ben now?
I agree. That's why we're in a very bad spot. That's why we got to make the most of what we have now and find a way to get a decent player in. But that's the thing. How are we going to get a number 2 option? And it's we can't keep relying. Like, even though Maxey's a stud, can we really rely on a 21-year-old to be like, late in the playoffs, giving us
Yes.
26 a game? We can't
We
rely
have
on
to.
that.
That's our only option here.
But we're not
That's what I
going to.
That's what we have to do. We have to give him the keys, but because of egos of Embiid and Tobias, they're looking at him as a young guy. Same with Doc Rivers. Like, just give him the ball, like for the whole game. Just do pick and rolls with him and see how much he could score. Like, I'm telling you, that's our only way here. If Maxey just gets the keys and becomes like a Damian Lillard type, like usage rating, he handles the ball as much as Dame does throughout the course of a game. But right now, he just goes up the court, passes it, and then goes to the short corner. And it's like, I don't know.
I agree. And I hate it as much as you do. But what I'm saying is, like, if Tyrese has a bad couple games in the playoffs, I can't really blame him. He's still young with a lot of upside. Let me ask you this, though, right? Because I'm loving this debate. If we got a number 2 option in here right now, how many shots is Tobias taking a game? He's not taking that many shots. He's going to be a lot more efficient.
He'll
And
take
by
it.
the way, he's not
He
going
needs someone to tell him not to.
He's not going to have as good
We
of a
don't have
defender.
anyone to tell him not to because there's no leadership.
I'll tell
in
you
this
who will
team.
tell him not to. Dame Lillard, for example, if Dame came here, No way Tobias is touching.
Yeah,
the
but
ball.
that's I think the point. I'm not speaking for you, Romp, but the point he was trying to make is, let's say we do a Simmons trade, we bring in another, like maybe we finally get that second option, or like ideally you're bringing in a second option that could really become the first option some nights, and Embiid doesn't have it, right?
Right.
The point is, like, if you do that, I would rather have a guy like Niang in Tobias's spot then, because Tobias is still like, the problem is when you're the third guy on a team, you have to be a catch and shoot player. Like, think of all the best third options, like Chris Bosh, Miami Heat. That guy was like a primary option his whole career. He's on the Heat. You know, it took him some time to adjust, but he was a perfect third option because he became a good 3-point shooter. Oh, and guess what? He plays defense. He was a gritty player. He made all the hustle plays. Tobias ain't doing that. The dude, we needed him to just box a guy out against the Raptors, and he couldn't do that. He couldn't even box a guy out. He's 6 foot, what is he, 10, 6'9"? He's big, he's thick. Couldn't do that for us. He got completely out-rebounded by John Collins. That, by the way, that's an underrated aspect of how we lost that series. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But I think that's the point you were trying to make, right?
Yeah,
Romp,
and we lost to the Hawks. Who the Hawks have? A ball-dominant guard who can get wherever the hell he wants, and that creates plays for the offense. And what did the center of the Hawks always do? Make a screen and roll to the hoop and catch a lob. We never do that, ever. It's crazy.
I agree. Connor with the $5 super chat says, should we consider trading Embiid for high draft picks? Do we need to consider a restart? It's painful to write that. I think people are way too reactionary. I think you got to go all in with Joel. You got to give him the best chance to succeed. I don't give a crap. You can give up every bench player on this team. You can give up the next 2 years of picks, okay? Get me another damn dog on the court. I'm tired of seeing Joel. Like, I feel genuinely bad for the guy. Look at all the crap he has had to put up with. All the crap.
That's what I'm saying. You got to risk it. And I was saying the other day, if you got to give up picks 3, 4, 5 years from now, even taking a risk, you know, like Joel might be retired or whatever by then, and then we'll be in the dumpster with no first-round picks. You got to take that risk. You got to throw some stuff out there.
Yes, I agree 100%. What is Romp and Steven, what do you guys think about that? Like, going all in?
I think Romp's frozen.
I mean, that's got to be it's got to be the mentality for the next couple seasons. It's hard to believe that's the mentality right now, because like it kind of feels like we're just wasting another season because we're just sitting on this Ben Simmons asset. We're not even like actively shopping the guy either. You know what I mean? Like, you're not hearing. It's just frustrating.
I think Joel Embiid is so talented and such a rare basketball player. You have to keep trying until it's over. And if it never works, it never works. But you never give up on trying with Joel Embiid. That's what I think.
100%.
What do you think about that, Romp?
Well, I don't even think we're trying because we haven't traded Ben Simmons. So it's like, are we really trying? Like, CJ McCollum, I'm telling you, or someone.
I don't think we can get CJ. I don't think we can.
Make the trade, man.
Just trade him for scraps. I don't care. It's gonna help the camaraderie of the team. Is that even a word? I don't know. But
camaraderie, yeah.
It's like, I'm just so sick of that. Damn, I came on here. The first thing I said, I was like trying to be positive, and now like I think we're screwed, to be honest. Because like you're bringing up good points about Morey, you know, like sitting out on the Ben deal, and that's like good points. I'm disagreeing. I'm making good points too. It's like we're just in a shitty situation with the contract of Tobias, Ben Simmons being Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid being injury prone. It's like Doc Rivers being Doc Rivers. It's like we're in a tough situation.
It's because of 2-5 more than anybody, because we could even have another player. We could have some more production. We're missing out on a third of our starting cap. Like, that's not an easy thing to do and win games. Like, and again, like the more he sits out, the more his value goes down. Like, I don't think he wants to play. And I think it's going to
for Kyrie.
He doesn't
for Kyrie.
Just do it. Just freaking do it. I don't care anymore.
I don't think he's going to play either.
Well, Kyrie can play in Pennsylvania, so.
Does he want to play?
I'll make that trade.
Kyrie and Maxey would be fun.
Kyrie
This
wants
is
to play,
bad.
but he has
bad.
Kyrie wants to play, but he has beliefs in things that are bigger than basketball, and that's nor here nor there, or whatever. But he's just not gonna play if you tell him he has to get a vaccine or wear a mask.
This is tough, man. Aaron with the $5 super chat says, if we get Jaylen Brown for Simmons, young talent like Thibault, Joe Ferk, and picks, this is a really good team, maybe even contenders. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm at the point where I'm like, you just got to go in. You got to get another piece. I don't care how you do it. Get it done.
So, like, do we just hope the thing in Boston just like implodes? Because I mean, they're not doing too hot, Like, it very well could.
What are they doing?
I don't
They
know.
are trying to rebuild the Sixers, so they got Josh Richardson and Al Horford. So Ben Simmons would be fit right in for what they're trying to do.
It's so weird to see him in a Celtics jersey, wasn't it?
Who do you guys think is actually going to be I haven't even heard any viable
because it was supposed to be Bradley Beal, right? And they're playing good.
He's not leaving. Dame's not leaving. Like, who do we even go after?
You know why they're playing good? Spencer Dinwiddie.
Oh.
Love that guy. What an addition.
Don't forget Kyle Kuzma.
Love that guy.
Kyle Kuzma. He's nice. Great rebounder, unlike Tobias. He's averaging 9 rebounds a game. Tobias could never.
Yeah, at least he uses his size.
I'm looking at all the teams that are at the bottom of the barrel. It's like, who do they have that we can even go for? Who? The Pacers, Pistons, Magic, Raptors. Like, who are we going to get from these teams? The Rockets, the Pelicans, the Thunder. Are we going to settle for trading 2-5 to the Thunder?
Brandon Ingram would be that'd be nice.
Yeah, give us Josh Giddey, man.
Dude,
he's got cool hair.
Presti will literally flip 2-5 for like 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
They'll put him in purgatory. It'll be like, yeah, you're playing 5 games and you're not playing again.
It's getting to the point where I can't even imagine this guy playing basketball anymore.
RB state.
That's what we were saying on a stream
about
that a little bit ago.
Can you really even fathom him putting a jersey on and playing?
Yeah, I think he's done.
I feel weird.
He's done. He's not playing again. And it's going to result in one of these dumb buyouts. They're going to be like,
God, could you imagine?
They're going to say like, yeah, they mutually did this and that and this provision and all that. And it's going to be like, they agree.
This guy walks away from the NBA with like $100 million cash. I will be irate.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's got to be something because it's a 4-year deal, man.
This is what I am telling y'all. This is why I have fears inside. If you are another GM, just think about this for one second.
That can't be legal.
I don't care if you're the GM of the Kings, of the Harlem Globetrotters. I don't care. Okay. Do you want to take on $140 million for a dude? What if he gets upset with you? What if he hurt his feelings? What if he doesn't like Sacramento? What if he doesn't like De'Aaron Fox? What if he doesn't
passes up a dunk and they boo him?
What if the fan yells at him?
See, I hear you, but I think he's like, even with all that said, like he's still way too young and talented of a player. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to even the Sacramento thing. Like there's teams that would take him.
Terry Rozier, I would do in a heartbeat. Pause. Terry Rozier, I would trade for in a heartbeat.
Simmons for Markelle Fultz, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I see people in the chat like, of course the fans won't boo him. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the dude cutting the checks. The dude.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Ben Simmons shows up to another arena and refuses a wide open 3. I don't know, man. I think it's like nationally known at this point.
Right, and at that point, you're already agreed to pay him. If I'm a team, I'll take him on a buyout contract. I'll take him for $3.5 million for 1 year. Am I taking him for $31 million?
Some GMs are stupid though, RB. You got to put that in perspective.
I think they're all behind Morey right now. I think they're telling him, do not lose your footing right now. Don't let this guy do this to us again. Meaning Rich Paul.
I think Morey's enjoying this standoff. He gets like a weird like high from it. I think he's enjoying this while we're just suffering.
Paul's such a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Such a dude. you guys are all lucky that my YouTube's been down for like 3 weeks because when I did the Rich Paul thing and everybody came at me defending him, calling me racist, first of all, which has
What?
nothing to do with it. Yeah. Dude, then he came out and tried to compare it to the John Wall thing, saying like, well, they're fine with him not
Oh,
playing.
come
They
on.
should be fine with Ben not playing. And like, the guy's just one of the dumbest agents I've ever seen. And he sold jerseys in an airport and met LeBron James. That's how he got there. Let's be real.
Okay,
Then they
great.
compare it to the Anthony Davis situation, which does not compare whatsoever either.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what? He was telling us we're supposed to be okay with Ben Simmons not playing, and we're supposed to pay him.
Mm.
I vowed not to listen to that man speak another word since he said that we need to stop looking at financials and start realizing the more serious issue. That man
4
said,
months after the fact, by the way, they should have let off with that.
he said we should not be looking at financials. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
I'm going to quit going to work, and I'm going to tell them, hey, listen, guys, stop worrying about financials, all right? Just pay me to stay at home because I am mentally not ready to go back. See if that works for an everyday person.
See, this is why I hate doing this show because now I feel like we are down in the dumps. I feel like we have no shot. Where's
We always talk about all the topics, and then we get onto the Ben Simmons thing, and the energy just gets sucked out of the room.
because that's what it all comes back to. What it all comes back to.
I'm so used to failure with the Sixers that like I'm chilling. Like I'm happy. I love Maxey, so it's been a fun year so far. Besides Tobias Harris.
It was almost more fun. It was almost more fun when we were mediocre for like 10 straight years and we could like watch it and like didn't expect anything to happen. And we'd be like, hey, this player looks kind of good. Maybe we'll be competitive in like 5 years. Instead of like this whole like expecting something and being let down every year.
Yeah. I mean, we really expected a lot, didn't we? We expected a man to shoot a jump shot. That is what we expected. After he did it multiple times.
We're on this again.
Not even a
You know
jump
what?
shot. We
It all
expected a
comes back to
6'10"
this, bro.
person.
What
Put
anybody
the ball
says.
in the hoop.
I don't care what anybody says. He's the reason we lost that series. We probably go on to the finals if we win that series.
You know what's funny about that though? So like I'm doing a project in one of my classes and we have to do like a podcast. It's like a group project, right? And it's me and 2 other people. And there's this girl in our group who doesn't really know too much about basketball or the Sixers. We of course decided to do the project on Ben Simmons because my other group member is a diehard fan like me. And she kind of like filled herself in and she comes in the class the other day and she's like, so I figured out what's happening. So like, you mean to tell me this guy, he's a basketball player and he won't shoot the ball? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what the issue is. And she was like so blown away. Like even like somebody who doesn't watch the sport or doesn't know anything about it, right? Like crazy.
That's hilarious.
This is painful, man. This is painful. Like, if this man would just do, like, if he would just do one press conference, like, that's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for a press conference.
He's not gonna do it,
dude.
A press conference.
That was like the
should've known he
highlight of the
wasn't gonna do that.
season was me just sitting in there waiting for him to, go onto the stage or whatever it was they had set up, and they decided to cancel it. I was
should've-
watching your stream actually, Eastwood. I was at work listening to it.
We should have known it was. There were so many people in that stream because it was an unrealistic feeling. We were like, there's no way this
Right.
is about to happen. And then it's like Ben Simmons got kicked out of practice
To
and they
avoid
canceled the press
talking.
conference.
He got kicked out to avoid talking.
My God.
He could have earned our respect. But instead,
Remember we thought he had a phone in his pocket when he was doing that drill? I can't what a joke this whole thing is. And then Doc Rivers is just as bad. Like,
that dude's a loser.
Sometimes I feel myself questioning, and I'm like, how did we even get here in this situation? He should have been gone the day after Game 7.
Crazy.
Yep. They were chanting trade Ben Simmons after the game.
mm-hmm.
How do we lose
Listen,
to the Hawks?
Listen, if we learned anything from the Eagles this season, is listen to the fans. All right? People are holding up signs,
Yeah.
run the ball. All right? All of a sudden you start doing what the fans tell you to do, and it's like, oh, look, it works. Yeah, because you're not a genius. You got to be an NFL coach or an NBA coach or whatever because of who you know, what you did, but you're not a genius. It's such a simple game. You got 40,000 people watching saying, why the hell are they doing that? Why aren't they doing what is obvious? Everybody wants to be a damn genius and outsmart everybody.
I was just going to say, it's an ego problem, and it's hard for us to understand because we're all, middle-class people, that have to work hard. And that goes for all sports, by the way. All coaches, all GMs, us fans sit here and wonder why they don't do these obvious things. It's because they all want to be, the smartest guy in the room or whatever it is. Exactly. They want to take all the credit for it. When in reality, look, coaching, yes, very important. Is it more important than football than basketball? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the number one thing in sports is having talented athletes and players. They are the ones making the money. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
True.
But at the same time, Doc, you can't just sit there and not coach. You got to do something, man. You can't just sit there and just not coach the team
and start a podcast.
You want to know my
grab?
You want to know my hot take? I feel like Doc really believes that he's coming back. I feel like Doc is he's just waiting for that to happen. Honestly,
the stupid interviews. He was I forget what he said. I don't even want to get into it.
Don't you see how all of this comes back to who? It all comes back to it.
I'm over him.
Why did our team have to get COVID? Why couldn't we have just stayed?
I know, right?
And then we go.
Yeah, we were great, man.
And
it was fun.
Our defense was fine during that. I don't even care about defense too.
We had the best offense in the league. That's
you
what
only have to play defense for 1.5 quarters. Plus, we got Joel Embiid in the middle. So if it's a big situation, we're probably forcing a step back jumper, and it's going to be a tough shot like that D'Angelo Russell one was. It was a lucky shot. He's capable, but it was pretty lucky. Also, was Tyrese Maxey not guarding D'Angelo Russell? They put Thibault on him, and then
one time Tobias on him.
Put Maxey on him. One time he was on him, and he got a stop. It's telling you, Maxey's a good defender.
That was just summer league D'Angelo Russell, man. He was just throwing the ball to the rafters, and it was splashing. It was oh, we're getting one of these games, aren't we?
They were making everything.
Yeah. Sixers support group. We should change the name.
Life support.
They need to put us on the major airwaves. I feel like Daryl probably reads some of these Facebook groups and he sees let's keep supporting the man.
But yeah, we overcomplicate everything. Even with Ben not shooting the ball, somebody from the outside would be you're the girl in your group. What do you mean he doesn't shoot the ball? Are you playing basketball? But no, the people that all think they're a genius are well, he leads the league in 3-pointers assisted, and he does this advanced stat and that advanced. And no, it's a simple game, bro. He doesn't shoot a basketball.
You know what sucks, guys? It sucks we were this right. A big portion of people on here on this app were telling us we're wrong, we're haters, we don't know basketball. What do you mean we don't know basketball? What are you talking about?
And that comes from a man who supported him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I realize my fatal flaw. I'm never going to connect again to a Philly athlete. That is my flaw. Carson, 2.5. I get into a point. I'm these guys are going to be great for the next 10 years. And then I'm just the next year I'm yeah, well, he can still do this. You know what? You got to earn my trust now. I'm sorry.
RB texted us.
You know what Eastwood's thinking right now? He's yeah, this is what it's been like ever since I was born watching Philly sports.
Oh yeah, sure. I wasn't as analytical, obviously, when I was a kid with the Allen Iverson. I was a huge fan, but I wasn't as analytical. I wasn't talking about Eric Snow's inability to shoot or Aaron McKee's 3-point percentage or anything like that. So I didn't really know enough about the game back then to focus on it like that.
RB texted us today. Y'all can roast me for putting my time and energy into Philly sports. This dude, pray for RB in the chat.
I'm not on your level yet, Rob. I can't just give up.
Oh,
I can't do that with Joe on my team. I can't.
I kind of enjoy the dysfunction too,
dude. You're toxic
side of me.
You're sick, dude.
Yeah, you're toxic,
sick, dude. Because it's just you only get one life. You just gotta laugh at it. You know what I'm saying? It's
oh, trust me, we've done a lot of laughing at it. Now we're trying to win.
What are you gonna do, man?
Dude, there's this Louis C.K. skit where he's do you know what optimistic people are? They're stupid. He's They think something good's going to happen. Why would anything good ever happen?
Oh my god!
Like, we're not gonna win a championship. I'm telling you. Like,
Nah, we're definitely winning the championship.
we
And
need
it's
a
gonna be
clean
the
house.
greatest-
Oh my
It's
God.
going to be the greatest 30 for 30 ever made. They're going to start with Sam Hinkie and all of his draft picks and go through they're going to go through the Fultz. It's going to be like a 7-part series. It's going to be the Fultz debacle, the 2-5 debacle, and then in like 2 years, you're just going to see Joel
We
hoisting.
forget to mention that. I don't know about you guys, but that because it would be nice to sway away from 2-5. Like I was a die-hard like Fultz fan till the end, like supporter. Like that broke me too. Like everybody was like, "Oh, they should have taken Tatum." I was like, "Yeah, you say that a year or two after the fact when one forgets how to just like shoot a ball and the other's like, this all-star player. Like Fultz was the consensus guy too. Like he was far and away the best player in that draft, and he comes here.
Tatum wasn't even consensus. Nobody was even talking about Tatum.
He was
as
like the
number one.
rumored to be like the 5th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
There was like 4 guys ahead of him.
Dude, that is
Yeah.
cruel, man. That is cruel.
And every time something like that happens, you waste like 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
So it's like Joel Embiid's been through all of these situations and none of them work.
I mean, but here's what I'm saying, guys. Like, am I awfulness or what? Like, I really think to be a good Philly sports fan, I think we just gotta unplug the plug. Like when Markelle Fultz came out a month before the season and he was shooting like this, we should have been roasting him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Same with the Ben Simmons thing when TJ McConnell started over.
Yeah, we
him,
let
that
this
should have
happen.
been
You're right.
We let this happen, and I just can't do it anymore. Am I off this or what?
That's
Like,
a fact.
Next time we draft in the top 5, guess what? You better show up day one.
Mhm.
Brett did that twice. He put TJ McConnell on the floor in that Boston series because Ben couldn't play point guard. And then he started Shake Milton at some point, like a year later or something, because Ben couldn't play point guard. And then it's like, yeah, we got rid of Brett, who I thought was a terrible coach, but Doc Rivers came in and didn't know anything about any of that, didn't do any research at all, and said, hey, Ben Simmons is my point guard. It's like, what? We already established that he's not. But we had to start all over with Doc Rivers and go through it all again. And now guess what? Ben Simmons can't play point guard so much that he just quit playing basketball.
Mm.
You know what pisses me off, man? Like, we got to stop with these non-basketball players playing basketball for the Sixers. Matisse Thybulle, number 1. Dude's an athletic freak, but that dude has no fundamentals. And then we got Isaiah Joe rotting on the bench, who can do step backs here and there, shoot the 3 ball. He's actually a basketball player, plays better defense than Danny Green, but no one will admit it because Danny Green has a legacy of being a good defender. It's like, why are we playing non-basketball players? Like Danny Green, that dude should be at the YMCA at this point in his career. But and then we got Isaiah Joe just rotting on the bench, just losing confidence day by day.
Yeah, that
poor
is
dude's
true.
probably down in the dumps. I'm a tweet at him and be like, "Are you okay, Isaiah Joe?" Because his freaking coach doesn't believe in him. His teammates probably don't even believe in him because if he misses a shot, he gets taken out. They look at the box score and they see 0 for 2, 0 for 2. It's like, I'm sick of this shit.
Dude, I've been saying it for years. Every team we play against or watching other NBA games, there's always some guy, 7th, 8th guy on the bench that gets the ball, 2 dribbles, Euro step, left-handed layup off the glass, like some skilled basketball thing. And I'm like, who's that guy? We never have a who's that guy kind of player. Like we never have a deep guy that can do all these things. Or we don't play him.
We just crown Matisse when he hits a 3 every once in a while and act like some great players.
In summation, Elton Brand has messed up this franchise.
Why is he still here? What does he do? Just get coffee for Daryl?
Look at everything
How is he
Elton has
still
done.
here?
Look
He
at
opens the
everything
door
he's
for
done.
Ben when he shows up.
That was so great. That
He
He
report.
goes to the back door.
He
Hey,
gave
Ben's at the back door.
He gave him $180 million. He panicked and gave Tobias $180 million. He traded for Jimmy Butler, which is the
Al
loan he's
Horford?
done,
Did you- I
and then
can't
let
remember
him
much.
walk. He signed Al Horford to $109 million. He drafted Matisse Thybulle.
Oh,
He drafted
Bro.
I mean, who else? I mean, there's a ton of things. Like
The Tobias one, maybe you were forced into, but the Al Horford one is one of the most insane basketball contract moves I've ever seen in my life. It's unbelievable. At 34 years old, when you have a center who needs guards around him,
That doesn't even make
that's
sense.
unbelievable.
Was he forced into the Tobias Harris one? Like, I feel like Tobias's dad had a talk with Elton, and he was like, you know what? We're on the market right now, and so-and-so and so-and-so is offering us a max contract. And I feel like Elton just took it at face value. He's like, oh, okay, we'll give you 180. Like, do you think Tobias, like, honestly, like any other team was offering him $180 million?
No way.
Dude,
Who was the other
Ben-
team? I think the Nets were rumored, like, as far as like just signing him. And I just remember Twitter at that point, everybody was panicking and like, no, can't lose Tobias to the Nets. And we panic sign him for, just under 200 million.
Look, man, Elton, I'm telling you, he got so scared when Jimmy left. He probably called up Tobias that second and was like, we will give you as much money as possible to stay. And he
exactly what
probably,
happened.
yeah. Like,
But
Elton
look,
Brand
Tobias was the third option on that team. That's where he should be.
And he was trash in the playoffs too.
Yeah, he
Right.
was.
Tobias, Ben, and Jimmy Butler is a horrendous roster construction, but Jimmy Butler was good enough alongside Joel Embiid to mask all of that. Like, that's how good he was on that
And
team.
we had
Like,
Greg Monroe.
he said, why do I feel like Elton saw himself in Al Horford?
dude, the guy, yeah, you promoted a retired center, and he gave a retired center $100 million.
Talked myself into that one. I'm ashamed of that.
So we do realize, like,
We all
Elton
did.
Brand straight walked up to Ben and was like, yeah, here's a max contract. You still don't shoot. Like, do you think they even had preliminary conversations about this? Like, we want to see you develop as an offensive player. Or did they just say, here you go?
No,
Come on, man.
there's people that predicted it for years. It's saying if we don't get on this guy, it's going to be a disaster. This can't go on forever, and we just let it keep happening like it was just
Yep.
fine, okay. And this is what it turned into. This is the worst thing you could have imagined going like 4 years ago.
It's time for a section of our show where we highlight some comments. Shout out to Joey, man.
What?
What do you mean? He's
Come
shooting
on, man.
38% on 3 attempts, you dummy.
Literally, that is the most. That's insanely false.
And he's a great mid-range shooter.
Thanks for being here, Joey. KP with the $2 super chat says, bro, Tobias didn't even look good with Jimmy. No, he didn't. Why didn't he look good with Jimmy? Because we didn't have enough offense on the floor.
No, because he's a terrible basketball player who doesn't know how to play his role.
We also had to do
He
that.
can't play his role because he can't shoot threes and he can't take it off the dribble. He's just a grandma out there. He's so slow. He just reads books. He's just so boring too. Great.
Why do you hate players like for no reason?
He reads
Nah,
books.
He smiles. Tobias Harris reads books. I hate it.
I'm just.
He's tired of the nice guy thing. Like,
I'm
he
just
wants
strong.
the nasty competitors back on the team,
Yeah, I want Patrick Beverly.
Kyle Lowry, Jimmy
Yeah, Mike
Butler.
Scott.
Oh,
Oh,
Mike
God.
Scott, bro. Just Philly fans crowned him too. We crowned just like the weirdest.
They were getting tattoos after this guy, and he's
Shout out to Nick.
not even in the league anymore.
Nick says, what if we drafted a 3-and-D player born in Philly whose mom works for the organization?
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Dude's defensive
Well,
player of the year
Exactly.
candidate.
He got like
He's a
what,
defensive
$70
player
million?
of the year candidate.
Like $70 million extension. That'd be nice, right?
Right.
It is crazy how a player's mentality transitioned to like how they finish on the floor. Like Tobias, he just goes to the rim so weak, and he like wears loafers and reads books. So
And has a
what I mean.
freaking. He has a coked out dog as his profile picture on Twitter because he's
He's an
loves
NFT
NFTs.
guy, man. He's going to help us win a chip, bro.
No.
He's going to be a
Really?
fourth option.
Why
Why
do
is
we
he
have
so soft?
Webkin?
They
It
only-
looks like a Webkin.
It's going to go Joel, Jaylen Brown, Maxey, and Tobias. That's what the offense is gonna
No, Tobias, get him out.
2 games in a row, this guy put up a layup in the fourth quarter that got smacked into the fourth wall
Ugh.
by an athletic 21-year-old somebody. Like he just,
That's my problem with him. He doesn't get to the foul line. He goes up soft with all that size.
Yeah.
He was shooting much better last year. He's in a bad slump. Like
He
just
looked
can't
more
knock
athletic
any-
last year. You're right. He looked more athletic last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, it's tough. But where are we at? An hour 50?
Why hasn't Dorkmaz been benched for Isaiah Joe? I don't know. We don't know
Felt
what
think that
Isaiah
too.
Joe did to Doc Rivers. We don't know.
Jimmy J says Jaylen Brown wants to be a number one if he leaves the Celtics. Look, man, bring him over here. Jalen's got that Philly dog in him too. Jalen's going to strap some guys up on defense as well. So
See that
Great
comment is
defense.
wrong though. Like Korkmaz isn't his competition. It's Danny Green and Seth Curry. Korkmaz can run the point, and he's 6'7". He's taller. Korkmaz could get him so many open shots. He gets Niang's open shots like every game. Like imagine Isaiah Joe and Furkan. Like I'm telling you, bro. Shake Milton too would get Isaiah Joe shots if Doc wants to do his all bench lineups. Like how is Isaiah Joe not playing? Like, and it's not Korkmaz. It's
and
He
you're
freeze
freezing.
again. And they cut him off. YouTube cut him off on the Korkmaz love.
It's because of this comment right here. Shout out to Leroy. He says, "You guys ruined my night. I was okay about the Sixers before. Pessimistic as hell, like Romp. I just want to burn my house down."
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Did you hear my rant?
No.
So basically, I said Danny Green is the competition for Isaiah Joe, not Korkmaz. And Korkmaz could get Isaiah Joe so many shots.
I think
Same
you
with
got
Shake
too
Milton.
much trust in him, man.
No, he's our best passer, bro. I'm telling you, when he runs a pick and
I thought
roll,
he's supposed to be a shooter.
he's not a shooter. He
Korkmaz
can
is not a
shoot
shooter now?
sometimes. He's not a shooter.
Romp is
That's not his. That's not his
No, he's-
biggest asset. He's a
He's
good.
got no. He
in the
got
pick and
bad at
roll.
shooting, and now he's not a shooter.
Nah, when
Crazy.
he's if you notice, when he gets in a rhythm, it's when he's getting others involved, and that opens up his game. It gets him going, and then he starts making shots. When he just comes in and he fires shots, that's when he starts missing. I've noticed that
And then he keeps missing. He's got to stop.
because
That's
I'm
absurd.
telling you,
I
Danny
don't care
Green's
if he played in
Danny
Turkey
Green
for
is more
5
of a
years.
problem than Furkan Korkmaz. Everyone just looks at Furkan
I agree
because
with that.
everyone hates him for some reason. Like
No.
we got Danny Green playing minutes.
No, you got to chill there because we've been giving Fur credit this entire year until he went stone cold.
Everybody goes stone cold, but you don't hear
Not like Furkan.
you don't hear freaking everyone on Twitter going at someone else for going stone cold. It's only Furkan. Like literally
What,
in the
You gotta
Kings
play
game.
Furkan.
In the Kings game, he had 11 points and 6 assists. And I go on Twitter, I'm like, Furk's having a pretty good game. And then I see Furkan Korkmaz sucks. Blah blah blah. It's like I don't get it. It's like, what do you got? You guys think he sucks, but then you have expectations like he's LeBron James. It's crazy.
No, he just want a little bit of consistency, just a little bit.
Just a little bit better than 32%.
Doc has to play Furkan Korkmaz like, when he's on, play him. When he's off, don't play him.
Yes, I agree with that. And play Isaiah Joe.
Right. Every time Isaiah Joe comes in, he gives us 10 points. Every time.
It's in like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
He can dribble and shoot. It shouldn't be rocket science.
Now, you
It
know what
shouldn't be-
really pisses me off is when he brings him in cold in the fourth quarter.
Oh, I know.
He's such a well-rounded basketball player. I saw it from the first time I saw him play on this team. I'm like, this guy can dribble, pass, step back, shoot deep threes, get to the rim, play defense. Like, what's the reason for not utilizing him? I don't get it.
Well, he was on fire in the preseason. He was like one of the best. I get it. It's preseason, but like, I don't know, maybe like as a coach, try to carry that momentum into the season. Instead, he's getting DNPs.
For
Crazy.
Danny Green, it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be rocket science right now to be able to listen. If something needs to change on this team, Danny Green, number one. He's not giving you anything. There's no benefit for him being on the floor right now.
I agree.
And also, Matisse Thybulle, he's a defensive juggernaut, and he's still getting 30 points on his head. It's like, what's the point? You're going to get 30 points on your head anyway. I'd rather have Isaiah Joe out there for some offense. It's like, scorers are going to score. So, like, I don't know.
Well, did you hear Doc with his brilliant comments? He said,
What'd he say?
He's getting much better as a picker and roller.
Oh my god, I can't do this anymore.
Oh no.
He
Oh,
said
no.
he's doing what we asked him to do.
If I watch Doc Rivers interviews, I
just
can't
put a
do that.
comment. He said he's
Dude,
getting better at a picker and roller.
When did he say that?
What is this, 4th grade basketball?
Like a week ago. He said
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing.
There was 2 plays against like somebody really bad where he rolled to the rim and nobody went and he
Oh
was
my
wide
God.
open. And he had 2 dunks and everybody was cheering. There was no defense at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are. I saw some in the comments. They're like, Matisse is a really good finisher at the rim.
What?
I'm like, what are you watching? The only reason he's good is because he can dunk. If he gets contested, that shit's flying in the 7th row. He's got no left hand. It's like, oh,
Which
man.
is why, when Ben passed it to him in game 7, it's like, that's why some people are like, why are you blaming Ben when Matisse missed a shot? Like, Ben should have known Matisse is not taking on 2 defenders going at the rim like that. You know what I mean?
It's like the Jalen Rager thing, DJ.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Why are you guys mad at Jalen Hurts? Rager dropped because he just dropped one 3 minutes ago. Maybe throw it to the guy that can catch.
Crazy, man. Aaron with the $5 super chat says, on the Simmons issue, I didn't play b-ball in high school, so I took one summer to recreate my jumper after senior year, and now I can hit open threes. Glad you can, Aaron. Maybe you should play for the Sixers.
I'll take Aaron Cabbage rather than Thibault. Sounds confident in shooting threes.
I think we're eventually gonna have to stop overrating defense in the NBA. Really, like we've been doing this on the Sixers for a long time. Like we get it. He's crazy athletic. He's gonna make defensive plays that make you say, "Wow, this guy's an animal on defense." But it's like, is it really that valuable when you can't do anything on the other end?
I mean, he's been the best bench player the last couple of games, in my opinion. He's been 10 times better than Furkan. He's been better than Niang. Drummond's been struggling. Thibault's been making an impact.
Niang really fell off. Niang went from MVP chance to like, where's George Niang?
Because they're role players, bro. You just got to accept, like, I don't get mad at them for missing shots. I get mad at them for not just doing simple plays. Like Thibault. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Like
Ben Simmons defender in the chat.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's the same dude talking about Maxey and how he's a Walmart deer.
No, it's a different guy. This guy said Ben Simmons is better than Jaylen Brown, and then he just said Ben Simmons has a higher ceiling than everyone in the league.
Yeah, so that's where you stop reading that comment.
Yeah, he's an advanced stat nerds because he's all about the ceiling.
There's no ceiling. He hasn't done anything
what
for
ceiling?
5 years.
What's with this virtual ceiling?
If there's a floor and a ceiling, and 5 years in, you're still on the floor, you're not getting closer to a ceiling at all.
In fact, he's dug into the floor at this point.
Yeah, he's lower than he was.
Dude, it's the same people talking about how like regular season basketball, like what do these people not see? Like when we get to the playoffs, you can't play with 2-5. You just can't. You're not winning a playoff series with them unless you're playing the worst team in the league.
Yep.
Or in the playoffs. Aaron with the super chat says, I'm also a great pick and roller. Shout out to Aaron, man. I think we could all be, I could definitely be a good guy to take charges, you know. Put me out there. I'm playing better defense than we've been playing in the paint.
Dude said Celtics top 10 in defensive rating. I wonder why.
Horford like leads the league in blocks or something.
Does he really?
I don't know. He's around the top.
We need Horford back.
Oh, I don't know. Like, did you guys ever think, like, you ever hear the old saying, and I'm so tired of hearing about it, it's like good defense generates good offense. What if I told you good offense generates good defense? Not turning the basketball over. Getting good shots every time you come down. Who would have thought? Playing team basketball. Maybe that's why.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's why in the beginning of the season I was saying we were playing great defense because our communication was great. We were rotating on the perimeter. That's all it is.
And we were getting good shots on offense. We're not turning it over and giving them easy looks.
Right.
I agree.
The Warriors run, they always were in the top whatever in defensive rating because they played great perimeter defense, communicating and rotating right and stuff. They didn't have a 6'10" lockdown defender. Like,
yep.
That's what I mean. They just had Draymond.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Garrett with a $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Says, don't know if y'all mentioned this, but I'd love to try and get DeJounte Murray averaging 19, 8, and 8. And I think he's top 5 in steals.
Yeah, he
right
plays defense too.
Can he shoot?
Who cares?
I care.
He's willing to shoot. I think we're getting like scared of like guys who aren't like good percentage shooters, but like just being a willing shooter is enough. Like we played with Simmons, who was a 0 shooter.
19,
we still were
8,
one of
that's
the
what
best
Ben's
teams
supposed
in
to
the
be
league.
averaging right there. That's that
Exactly.
line.
Exactly. Remember how many people hyped up his like 16, 8, and 7? Like those are not good numbers. DeJounte Murray's averaging 19, 8, and 8. If Ben Simmons did that, his fanboys would be
And he's top 5
running
in
down the
steals.
street.
And his team isn't good.
Ben is
Playing
known
with
for
a
the
bunch of
infamous-
rookies, and he's getting 8 assists.
He's
Good
known
point.
for the infamous triple single.
Yeah.
The 9, 8, and 9.
Ugh.
Where's all the advanced stats this year? That's what I'm wondering.
Yep.
Joel
I
Embiid
agree.
probably has wild advanced stats that they could bring up.
Yeah.
Tyrese
Exactly.
Maxey too. I don't see anything.
Yep.
Yeah, we got
I
to take
did see the
advantage-
one
we gotta
with
take
Maxey
advantage of
with the Jordan comparison. I don't know if you guys had saw that. Something about efficiency or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw that.
See,
Wow.
Advanced stats
Mark,
can just
Mark.
go crazy.
Stop it, Mark. You're going down a bad hole, bro.
Oh
You gotta
man.
stop. Mo with the super chat. Thank you. Says the 17-18 Sixers team was the best no cap. That's actually a little bit painful to hear.
It was. It was, man.
That's a
It
little
was
bit painful. I'm
painful to
thinking
hear.
about Ilyasova and
Oh god.
Bellinelli. and Robert.
Shooters everywhere.
Yeah,
Shooters.
yeah, but the
And who
only
did
thing
that?
is they couldn't dribble.
Still shooters
Covington.
everywhere. And who did that? A real GM, a douchebag, but a real GM, Brian Colangelo.
It hurts, man. It hurts.
Damn, you're defending Brian Colangelo. People are gonna be pissed.
I don't care. I see all the other decisions these people make, and it's like the Colangelos had a resume for a reason. They knew how to build a basketball team. If the guy could have kept his wife off of Twitter, maybe we
I think you died for our sins, man.
You guys want to hear something crazy? This is awesome. So Ja Morant and Tyrese Maxey are shooting the same percentage at the rim. That's insane. Obviously, Ja takes more shots, but still, like, that's how good of a finisher Tyrese Maxey is. And we're like, oh yeah, let's not use him at the end of games. Let's just let Embiid just this team.
Yeah.
Is, oh,
and he doesn't get up like Ja Morant either. So he has to finish
Yeah.
around people and off the glass and everything else.
he's like Tony Parker with his floaters.
Mm.
Yeah, I think we need to take advantage of Greg Popovich because he's older than Doc Rivers. So he doesn't know how seriously, he doesn't know how bad it is to not shoot. So and he probably
He
likes
likes
the
his
fact
European players, man.
that he probably likes Ben Simmons. Greg Popovich hates the 3-point NBA.
It'd be
Maybe we can
perfect.
fleece him. He can think he can change the league by getting Ben Simmons in there.
It'd be perfect for each other because they barely say a word.
Oh man.
Oh man. Anyway, before we get off here, man, we still got over 200 people in here. Shout out to you guys. We even got some of the stands tuning in. Shout out to you guys.
Crazy that they
Um,
still exist.
They're still
Shaq
here.
didn't shoot either.
That's funny.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Mark, have you seen Ben Simmons in the post? Did you really just say
Oh
Shaq?
my god,
Ugh.
that dude's so soft.
Oh man.
He's considered one of the most dominant players ever. Yes, because he was dominant in the post. He moved people off the court.
Yeah, in 1998.
Oh my God, bro.
Right.
Anyway, I think we need to get some optimism in here before we ruin everybody else's night.
They
Oh.
reach so hard. Do you ever hear him reach about Dennis Rodman? Well, maybe he's a Dennis Rodman. Dennis
Oh.
Rodman averaged literally almost 3 times the rebounds that he averages.
In the 90s. Oh man, Mo says, did y'all hear about Embiid almost dying because of COVID? Yeah, man. I'm glad that he's all right. He deserves better. And I still think he should be resting, but He just doesn't look the same right now. But
No, he doesn't.
prayers up to Joel. Glad he's all right.
That's why he's shooting more jump shots. He doesn't have his legs under him yet.
Yeah. It was like the third quarter yesterday, and I was watching him during like a break, and he was just like hands on his knees. He was just huffing and puffing. I'm like, man. But
It's kind of normal for him, but yeah. But yeah, no, he looks tired.
anyway,
I don't think he's ever gonna be a guy that's in like amazing. He's just too big, man.
we just gotta hope and pray, man. That's why last year was the year. Like we thought he had an injury that was gonna keep him out the rest of the playoffs. He was like Superman. He came back. He was good to go, playing on a torn meniscus, and we squandered it. So
I just think it might be a little like people always say how he looks out of shape. Nobody's ever seen a guy that size exert that much energy. Most guys that size don't move that much. They stay on the block. They turn and hook shot.
yeah,
You know,
it's tough, man. But anyway, before we get out of here, we got to get some optimism going. We'll go around. First off, we'll start with the ghost of Run It Back because hashtag free DJ in the chat, man. Again, we gotta get him his channel back. But
we're coming back soon.
give us some optimism, some thoughts. Tell us, who do we have next? We got the Celtics, the Hawks, and then we play the Jazz, right?
Oh, Jazz.
Yes.
Hate that team.
Listen,
So-
we started out the season 8-2. We had a whole off season of training, getting in shape, building chemistry, all that kind of stuff. We started the season hot, and the COVID thing took us out. We got guys that don't have their legs back yet. We just threw everyone back into the rotation, and the communication looks bad. The defensive communication looks horrible. Guys don't know who's supposed to be the number 1, the number 2, or the number 3. It's just, I think it's going to take a little while after this whole like playing without a lot of guys and then bringing them all back. And I'm not worried.
All right, good way to start it off. Who wants to go next?
I mean, look, regardless of my negativity and everybody else's, the only reason we're this negative is because there's expectations, there's high expectations. And the only reason they exist is because we have Joel Embiid, who is a top 3 NBA player, and as long as he's here, regardless of the mess around us, we're going to be in the playoffs and we have an opportunity to win. Now, I guess, we got Tyrese Maxey, 21-year-old who, look, man, like the sky's the limit now for this kid. I believed in him last year. He showed us a lot of flashes when he was given an opportunity. He could light it up. And honestly, man, like, look, there's still question marks on him, but he's in a much bigger role now, and he's answered everything and some, and we're sitting here pounding the table to make him, the primary option on this team. So, like, at least we still have that, and like Eastwood said, if we can figure out the rest of it, this team will be competitive. They were, 8-2, 8-3 with the starters. So, that's not even mentioning, the potential return for Ben Simmons. We're just stuck here. It's not even December yet. This is the, they say like the dog days of summer. This is the dog days of the NBA season, so.
Romp, you got to be positive.
I'll let Romp go last. Let me Romp, you got to cap us off. But yeah, we're winning the championship this year. Like we're going all in. Something's going to happen, guys. Like as much as
championship,
we're winning the chip. You got to think every day until you don't, right? Look, Harold's something. If
you actually believe that?
Yeah. If we hold on to this man past the trade deadline, then I'll be off the wagon. But until then, Tobias is going to be an integral part. Joel is going to pick up his game. Maxey's going to average 25 in the playoffs. Look, man, Seth Curry's got to get hot at the right time. And maybe your boy Ferk will actually step it up for once. And we'll be here. We're good. Let's go. None of these teams can stop us. They can't stop Joel.
Daryl's last deadline move was George Hill.
All right, but he gave up Tony Brown. He gave up, what was that guy? Vincent Poirier. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And Tony Bradley, right?
Is that a French artist or a basketball player? He gave up Poirier. Come on, man. It's not our fault. George Hill aged 4 years in one day.
I bet he is. I bet he is a painter too. Poirier. He has to be.
Yeah, let's get George Hill so Maxey can't play. That's just
KP, my
smart.
guy, great channel member, says, I trust Daryl to make a splash at the deadline. You hear that, Romp? Splash.
I hope so.
Oh, man. We're going all in, man. There's no way you can't.
If he
No
does, I'll be his biggest fan.
Let's go. All right, finish this off, man.
So our real record is 8-3 because that's what we are with Joel Embiid. So whatever our record net is now, it doesn't matter because we're a great team, but we could be like a great team if like Tobias, Doc, and Joel like just like knew basketball a little better, I guess you could say. But we're still a great team.
I forgot
And
about Doc.
Tyrese Maxey, he's just a great guy, great kid. I love that guy. He can build a culture too, like just the way he plays and the way he is, always giving effort, the way he talks. I just love the kid. I really do. So I think we have a really all-star player in him. I think he'll be averaging 25 points a game. Should be this year, but unfortunately, people are holding him back. But we're in good hands. We might not win a championship anytime soon, but it's okay. We'll just laugh it off and we'll keep going. We're 8-3. Oh, 9-3. Someone said so. I think we're good. I'm happy.
You're telling me we have a shot.
We have a shot. It's like we're underdogs. It's good we are underdogs because like everyone's gonna be sleeping on us. We're probably gonna be like a 5th seed or something. We don't want to be a 1 seed. Philadelphia does not do good when we have real expectations. So I kind of like the underdog thing. And because of that, we're not going to be favored. So we're just going to be playing with house money. And that's when Philly shows out as the underdog. And Maxey's going to put up 30 points per game in the playoffs. So, yeah, we're good.
Let's go. I love it, man. Shout out to everybody coming through in the chat. Mo, appreciate the donation. It says Sixers versus Warriors in the finals, and we win in game 7. Game 7. 2-5 actually shows up for the game per source.
Too much speed and too much shooting, man. And Klay Thompson comes back.
Roasted.
Oh my god,
we would get destroyed by the Warriors.
You think so?
Too much speed, too much shooting, too deep of a bench, too good of coaching.
We could have that debate another day, but like, I don't know about y'all, but I gotta wait and see when Klay comes back. When Klay comes back, I'm like, all right, the Warriors are legit. But without Klay, like,
do you see the way they play basketball?
Yeah, but I'm looking at Damian Lee.
Exactly. That just shows how good their system is
in the regular season, though.
And that just shows how good Steph is.
Steph is legendary. All I'm saying is, am I trusting
Leandro Barbosa looked like a superstar in that system.
Dude, they could put you out there and you would fit
with
in.
Klay.
Like I said, nobody even knew Gary Payton had a son. Until the Warriors. Oh, Gary Payton Jr. Look at that.
Yeah. I feel like the Warriors don't even play with a center. Like who even is the center anymore?
Kevon Looney.
They're
all good passers. They got good passers on that.
Yeah,
team.
But I mean, they won the title.
Exactly. Do you know how bad Kevon Looney would be if he was on the Sixers?
He would be terrible.
Elliot Brand would sign him for 5 years.
Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. We're never going to win a chip with what we have because our coaching staff's terrible.
No,
there's
no Seth Curry.
We don't have consistent ball movement.
We did the whole optimism circle, and now you went back.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's just we're just not a good organization, like with no culture or identity. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
look,
of course,
these boys
like the Warriors are like the Patriots of the NBA. Just like whoever they put in their system is gonna be good. It's that simple.
Look, these boys winning with Kevon Looney. Who else? Previous years, Festus Ezeli, Andrew Bogut. Okay, we have a shot. Sixers Warriors in game 7. Let's go.
We have a shot if people buy into a system that we don't even have.
I agree. It's going to take some time.
What is our identity? We've been asking that for 10 years now.
You just got to trust in Morey, man. You got to put
I don't trust
chips and more.
dude got a dog as his profile picture on Twitter.
Bro, if he can sell NFTs, you're telling me he can't sell 2.5? Come on, man. He might even
NFTs don't even
2.5.
exist, bro. I'm gonna
It's an
screenshot his
NFT.
NFTs and DM him just to troll him.
He might even trade 2.5 and a couple NFTs to get a star in here. You never know what Daryl can do. They got OBJ getting paid in Bitcoin now.
Dude, let's just
Exactly.
make. I forgot about NFTs. Let's make NFTs.
Let's include one in
Seriously.
the trade package.
No, I'm just literally gonna get like a cartoon artist to draw an NFT and like make it $50,000 and see if some dumb rich person buys it.
More
Nice,
probably
right?
will.
Oh man. Anyway, the chat's going nuts now that we brought up the Warriors. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here, man. Sixers takeover, always the best. Looks like everybody's about to take a nap at this point. But yeah, man, let's get back on a roll. Let's get the squad going. Hopefully, all the things. Like, honestly, they should just play this show in front of the locker room just one time. Just one time. Like,
To see what they've done to us, man.
you know, they used to talk about Jimmy Butler used to talk about like them sitting in the practice room with the film and stuff and like, you know, not even talking to each other. Just play this, bro. Just play this. Come on, man. Nah, let me
They
stop.
won't listen.
Man.
They won't listen to our opinions, man.
Let me
Yeah, they would
stop.
be like, "Who's that kid in his mom's basement?" It's like,
I'm messing around, man.
He doesn't have any NFTs. Why should we listen to him?
He has a real picture as his profile, bro. What is this?
Tobias would be like, "He didn't read any
2020?
books this month. He didn't read any books."
They're like, why does this dude got a picture of Boban on his wall?
Oh man.
We had Boban on the team.
Yeah, you got to take that off. You got to get.
I'd rather Landry Shamet than Tobias. That's who we traded him for.
I've said that on a video out loud before and gotten ripped for it, obviously, because people don't want to hear that. But listen, he was a better fit alongside Joel Embiid. Anybody that can shoot threes like that is a better fit, in my opinion. And he can drive to the rim a little bit.
Dude, Tobias Harris is 6'8" for no reason. He's not that great of a rebounder. He doesn't even use his size when he
All right,
drives.
chill, man. Come on, we ended it off on a good note.
I'm just saying, bro.
I think Romp just hates Tobias. He has a
I
genuine
do.
hate for him for no
I hate
reason.
him as a basketball player, not well.
You hate him
I'm
because he
giving-
makes books.
I'm giving Romp a picture of Tobias Harris for Christmas to put next to Bobby. To put next to yeah.
I'm giving him
Yeah.
an NFT. Oh,
What if
man.
you can get really cheap NFTs, like for $1, like just some, you know, knockoff one?
Oh man. Well, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being here, man. Appreciate it. And go Sixers. Let's get a dub tomorrow against the Celtics. Ime Udoka,
Please.
Al Horford, the resemblance of the 2019 Sixers, Josh Richardson. I'm calling it right now, guys. Sixers win, but Josh Richardson goes for 32.
Yeah, he's definitely going
Yeah.
off. And
I
Horford.
probably will. Absolutely. He's gonna be raining threes like when we blew out the Bucks on Christmas Day a couple years ago. He's gonna be bombing
man.
threes.
Oh man. All right, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Catch you on the next one. Peace.